Good afternoon, cuties. If you guys can hear me, please put a 1 in the chat. Please also like the video on your way in. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to say some hellos. Tawana, thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a member of the Cutie crew. And let me go up and start from the top. Thank you, Gloria, for becoming a member of the Cutie crew. Hello, Jessie Lewis, Joy, Miss J, my A1 since day one. Good evening, good evening. Thank you for being a member of the Cutie crew. And real quick, guys, before I get into this live, we had a Cutie crew members only live the other day, and it was like chatting with sisters. It was so nice. I really enjoyed it, so I do appreciate you guys. Good afternoon, Stephanie. Evening, I'm sorry, Teresa, Gwendolyn. Hey, Linda Gamble. Hello, 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 Linda. Stephanie Mimo of 6. Good evening. Neva, good evening. Gigi, good evening. Beverly Childs, good evening. Gigi, good evening. Tamita Joe, hello. Hey, Rue. Good evening. Cheryl Howard. Oh, Linda Gamble is getting started in the chat already. We're going to talk about it. Hi, Karen, Miss Mary, Monica Taylor, Elise. Hello, hello, hello. Cheryl D, hello. Olivia, hello. Pink Flower, hello. Woman Within, hello. Kay Pope. Patricia T, Black Joy, Red Ann, Deshonda, Michelle B. Thank you so much. Pink Diva, hello. S. White, Denise Calhoun, Kim Crawford, hey Natty. Game for Life, I believe. G. Etney for Life, Game for Life. Stacy Belton, hello. Dee Dee, hello. Tawana again, member of the Cutie crew. Tawana, we had a great time the other evening. Hello, Z. Joyce Dunlap, Shay Ware, Cricket, Megan, Ruthie Green, Sunny Sunshine, Janice Walker, Olivia, Joyce Dunlap, Tea Talk with your girl. Hello. Michelle B. I don't know if I missed you, but hello, hello. Tang. Tang cutting up too. Oh, Lord, Tang. Hey, Tang. All right, guys, we're getting down to the bottom of my list of hellos. If I missed anyone, I am so sorry. Hello to everyone that's joining me. It is 320 people watching. If you guys could please hit that like for me, I would appreciate it. Miss Sugar Mama, Karma Girl, Kimmy D, Kim Jenkins, Kim Crawford, Sonia Martin, good evening. Andrea, Denise, hey, Tennessee Girl, Gloria Moore, Cornbread, hello. All right, Sunny Sunshine, hello. All right, guys, I think I may be getting down. Hi, Lizzie. All right, guys. Gemini, I'm sorry, 1958. Liddell, Baby Jax, one of my cutie crew members. Hello, the soul of the matter. And you guys got this discussion going. Red Ann, you say, I remember him telling the Eminem kids that he was crushing on them. Well, is this how you show that you're crushing? Are we speaking of Martell? Hey, Maritha. Christy Polk, hello. Tennessee Girl, I got you. Thelma Little. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Color Me Entertained. All right, Regina Ashby, Makitha, Cutie Crew member, hello. All right, guys, I think we're getting there. Johnetta Boy, Jeannie Smith. Let's see here. Sugar Mama and Knox should both be in a car seat. They are both under 5 years old. And Mariah's dress looks like something a 6-year-old would wear. She is 11 years old. I thought her dress was cute. I did download the picture, so I'll bring them up and see. But I thought her dress was cute. Hello, everyone. So, guys, let's get started. The name of the live was Grand Marshals and Grand Closings. So we know that Tisha was a Grand Marshal. What was it? Last week, week after last. Hey, Keontae, D-Truth. Evening, Kimberly. Elise, hello. All right, guys, I just glanced down and I'm still saying my hellos. Hey, Brenda. But yeah, Tisha was a Grand Marshal. We know that a couple weeks ago. And this weekend, Mr. Martell. So my question is, what do you really have to do to be a Grand Marshal? Now, I know I may get a little kickback, but when it comes to Tisha, even though, you know, on the outside looking in, I really don't see much, but Tisha is a business owner. She does have a successful business or two in Huntsville, Alabama. I haven't seen much community work from Tisha or Martell, really. I would think that that would be something that would qualify you to be a Grand Marshal. But in comparison to Martell, I would say Tisha is definitely more qualified for that position. Now, let me show you guys something. And I know you guys already have seen this. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. I thought I had these. I did. Okay. So this one, give me 1 second, guys. Let me try to, I'm going to download this real quick. Something that I did not think was appropriate was this. If this thing would just move on. Let's see here. All right, so give me 1 second. I'm going to bring this up. All right, all right, all right. Let's see here. Let me share my screen. All right, guys. So for me, this was not appropriate to be a grand marshal or to wear while representing being a grand marshal. What do you guys think? Do you think the dress is okay? Do you think the split was too much? I'm sure believe Tisha was in the parade. I'm not sure if she sat down the whole time or what. But for me, with children there, I just believe that this was a bit much. Like I say, that split is all the way up to her waistline. She looks gorgeous. She looks pretty. But what do you guys think about that? Let me scroll the comments. You're not claiming Martell, Red Ann? All right, now I don't see anything. Thank you, Karma Girl, for becoming a member of the Cutie crew. All right, guys, I'm scrolling. Her dress was cute. I just felt they were overdressed. Okay. Oh, you're talking about Mariah. Okay. What about Tisha Tang? Anybody? Maybe it's because Tisha has, she has a shape. Thank you, Mimi. That's what I was looking for. A tad bit more modest. Now, had that split come down, let's say, to right above her knee, I can see that. But yeah, this was a tad bit too much. I agree, Gloria. So I just wanted you all's opinion on that. Let me stop sharing that. And then let's get into Mr. Martell as far as him being named the Grand Marshal and participating in the Selma events. So I did a short. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures, but let me get out of this screen. And oh my goodness, I thought I downloaded all of these. Give me 1 second, guys. For the people that did not see the short, there were some questions on whether it was a special guest in the audience, I guess I should say, but I don't think so. Let's start with that one. Give me 1 second. Where is it? This one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place here. Let's see. All right. I'm coming, guys. I'm trying to get them all ready. Let's see. This one, open. All right. So a lot of people asked if Miss Coleslaw was in attendance at the parade. A lot of people felt like a lady in the background was her. So I'm going to open and share that. I want you guys' thoughts before I give mine. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Goodness. They need to make it a little more easier to do this. Oh, goodness. Hold on, guys. What the heck? I'm so sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Where is it? All right. Let me see if this is it. There we go. All right. So there were people in the comments asking if that was coleslaw in the back. What do you guys think? Does that look like Ariane Curry to you? She does have the signature puff. Anybody? You guys still talking about Tisha in that dress? Okay. Shea Ware, me either. Sasha Welch, absolutely not. So this girl, let me see if maybe I can blow it up some. If you look closely, that's definitely not her. So the only thing is the poof that she likes to wear, the ponytail or whatever. But this girl looks a little bit taller than Coleslaw. Um, Not the same size and things like that. So yeah, I don't think it was her either. But as far as Martell, here is the thing, and this is my opinion. And we have 535 watching. If you guys could please hit the like button, that would be great. I feel like Martell is not a good representation of anything at the moment, namely because of him fighting for full custody of his children with Mel, and he knows she's a good mother, a fit mother, and there's just no respect or honor in that, period. Do I think that Martell should suffer forever as far as how he treated his wife, how he messed up his family, and all of that? I don't think that he deserves to suffer forever. Everyone deserves redemption. But as I mentioned, what he's actively doing is evil, it's vindictive, it's self serving, it's disrespectful, and it's very much so hurtful to his children. So, until Martell cuts the shenanigans like that, shows that he's really trying to make peace and move on with his life. He definitely should not be serving as a grand marshal in anything that is honoring the civil rights movement, and I'm going to use his word, things of that nature. So that's my thought on him. I know you guys saw the pictures that was going around yesterday. I don't have those saved, but when they were in the parade and in the vehicle, a lot of people were upset with the seating arrangements. So this was day one, which was yesterday. And on those pictures, we saw Baby Knox in the front with Martell. We saw Sugar Mama and Tank in the back seat. Sugar Mama did not have on a seatbelt, it looked like to me. I'm going to say allegedly. And she wasn't in like the proper chair that kids her age should be in. Knox should have been in the back as well. But what really disturbed me, and I know it was a parade and all of that, the visual just didn't look right to me, was the two girls in the back of that pickup, Mariah and Boss Baby. I did not like it at all. Um, a lot of people felt like I did. They did not look happy. And I'm not sure if that was because they were in the back or if they just weren't happy to be there. They could have been tired. The picture could have been taken from an angle which made them look unhappy. But I just did not like them in the back of that truck. So, what are you guys' thoughts? And I know I'm going to get some more opinions when I drop the link. What are your thoughts on the seating arrangement for the kids at that parade? So I'm going to scroll down. Hey, S. McNeil. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I'll wait and say it later. Okay, you put also, I think if that was AC. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yep. Kimbella, hello. Kimbella said the same thing. If that was her, Knox Maverick would be trying to go to her, in my opinion. Totally agree. So, yeah, it was sort of like the lady that was in the Inez promo that he did, where a lot of people thought initially that that was her. and it wasn't. And speaking of that, I wonder how she feels that Martell, as he should, love his son with her, but we all know and we discuss often of how that girl fought to be with him, and for her to not even be included in anything, even this, I really wonder how she feels about that. Do you guys think that she's just finally at the point in life where it is what it is? And as soon as I said that, I saw Mocha Princess's comment, and that was before I asked it. Ariane can't come outside with Martell in public at all. At all. Anonymous cutting up, cutting up. But let me scroll down. Let me see what you guys are saying regarding the children. Absolutely, just saying. Absolutely. And without repentance, it's a no-go for me. Like I said, I don't need this man to come out publicly and beg and say, look, guys, I'm sorry, I'm this, I'm that. But his actions would show. And as long as he is continuing to fight for full custody of those kids, nothing has changed with Martell. And a lot of people, and I read it in my comments again yesterday, people are saying that he's going after full custody, number one, because he's hurt. And on top of that, he's hurt because Mel finally left him. So he's doing that as a punishment to Mel. And I'm sorry, it's going to backfire. It's just sad. It really is. All right. So, Elise, you say he was wrong for having his daughters in their dresses on the back of that truck. Why couldn't he have two cars or trucks? Marlene could have been in one with the girls. Didn't like that at all. I didn't either. I didn't either. African Beauty 7, you say, poor Tisha. Her insecurities always has her doing the most to show that she's an it girl, but she just doesn't have it. Yeah, it's just such a big difference in Tisha looks wise from the beginning of the show. Noticeably, the way she dresses, her, I don't want to call it new body. I'm just going to say allegedly. People are saying that she had like a mommy makeover, tummy tuck, butt work, and all of that stuff. And yeah, I think that being married to somebody like Marceau, I think that Tisha is trying to, as they say, keep up with the Joneses, but not in a financial way, but just keep up with people. And like you say, be that it girl. She was also in the YouTube streets and social media streets as far as colorism this week. Now, when I read her post, I didn't take it like she was talking personally, but I think when you repost things, you have to relate to that in some sense. But I want to go on record for saying, and you guys may really laugh at me, Tisha, Wanda, and Kiki are pretty women. They really are. Now, their actions may be a little different. So I would hope that Tisha is not feeling the type of way because of her skin tone. We like all shades of black, from light to darker. And if she's trying to use colorism as far as trying to say that she's been treated bad on Love and Marriage Huntsville, I'm going to absolutely call bullshit. Because if anything, she's gotten the better treatment because she hasn't had to really disclose much when it comes to her life. So Tisha can't use it. And also Camille, the person from Ready to Love that posted that, it didn't apply to her either. And they were tearing her up in her comments. They were tearing her up in Tisha's comments because she was very nasty on that season of Ready to Love. It had nothing to do with her skin tone. And she was showing aggression to people that were her complexion, lighter complexion and darker complexion. So I think that a lot of people, after they don't get the fame that they want from some of these shows, I think they start pulling from other areas to say, well, this is why. And yeah, that don't apply at all. At all. Uh-oh, Dee Dee, I need to go up and see what she said. Lord, I'm going to put allegedly up for her already, and she's not even on the panel yet. Not an exorcism pill. My definition of successful business, PDS 5428, Black is open to the public. That is considered a business. Scoped, from my understanding, is still open and doing business. And yeah, the doors aren't closed like my next topic. So I would say they would have to be somewhat successful. So it doesn't seem like you agree. Let me know. And you guys let me know in the comments while I get this next slide up. So let me download this. Let me open it. And I'm going to save it. Give me 1 second. And guys, this is sort of sad news. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. It is changing weather here. And I'm feeling it. 1 minute, guys. All right. Sorry about that. I had to take a sip of water. Okay. Was I still sharing my screen? Let me stop. Let's see. Let me share. This is so weird. Give me 1 minute. Let me close this. Let's try it this way. All right. Okay, guys. Where is it? Give me 1 second. What is going on? Let me try again. All right, guys. Here we go. Oh, okay. I see what I got to do. So it's a sad time, guys. I'm sure you guys are aware that there will be no more relaunchings at Madani Beauty Store. So Destiny did break the news a couple days ago that Madani is closing. And let me go ahead and read you guys what she said. So she put, so Madani Beauty had been my baby for the last 3 years, and I can say I got to live out my dream of being a beauty supply and salon suite owner and the first to do so in Huntsville. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have shared in this experience with the north side of town. The ups and downs of true entrepreneurship, the wisdom gained, and the love received has my heart full of gratitude. Thank y'all for this chapter and stay tuned for what's to come with the Madani brand. So how do you guys feel about Destiny's beauty supply store closing? And after that, we will be dropping a link so I can get some folks up on the panel. But what do you guys think? And I do have my own personal feelings about it. I'm trying to be nice today, guys. Trying to be a little nice. So let me scroll down. Anybody got an opinion on Destiny and the re-closing of Madani? I'm scrolling. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go back and read some comments before I drop the link because you guys are really, really getting it in. Nobody? Sorry, but not sorry. Who cares, Beverly Childs? Is that Red Ann? You almost choked me. That's what the people have been saying. That was my question. I don't need nothing from your dusty arse. Yeah. Now we know that she mentioned sweets at one time, but we never saw where that came to fruition on the show. And I don't think it did off of the show. Now, I do know that at one point, Marceau, and I think that was all a storyline anyway, but I do know that Marceau was in talks with her to be the one to build these suites. Then we know Tisha basically told her, which was common sense, look, you don't want to do any renovations or anything like that because you don't own the building. So, yeah, they did say it was always closed. But all jokes aside, guys, I do think, and like I said, I'm trying to be nice leading into this panel that I know gonna let loose. All jokes aside, I do think that it was commendable for her to even open the doors at all at one point, and being the only Black beauty supply in Huntsville. Me personally, I think that had Destiny possibly stayed married, I think that she probably would have had a little more success. And then the building was huge. Now, I do know that in most, I don't want to just say inner cities, but I'll speak for inner cities, like from back home, from where I'm from, there are huge beauty supply stores. Huge. You can walk in there and see 300 wigs and all type of product and all of that. And I think, in my opinion, just looking at Destiny's space from what we were able to see, it seems like it was too big of a space to maintain as well. You know, who knows? Okay, so Red Ann, you are local and you said she's not the first, so that's not true. She wasn't the first. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to say allegedly. So allegedly that's a lie. The first to do so in Huntsville. Wow, that's what she said now. Wow. So do I want to take back what I said or what? Right, Tang, it was never open. Hey, pretty brown eyes. I don't know, because I think that I'm trying to remember. She opened the doors right before COVID or something. COVID happened. And then, we didn't see it really open on the show. We did see the infamous scene at Madani, but I think that the doors were open just for that taping, if you ask me. So there's been a couple people that have dropped down in my comments before or joined a live, were in the chat, and they said exactly what Red Ann said, that it was always closed. And even her girl Stormy said that. Stormy said it was always closed. So we do know that allegedly, and I think this is why she made this announcement, allegedly she had court with the landlord. And, I think that she probably knew that basically she had to go. So, what better way than to make a statement to look like this was something that was done voluntarily, allegedly. But yeah, that's a mess. Hey, somebody's mama. They're saying, you're not gonna get me anonymous. Nope, 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 no. I'm trying to be nice. Trying. You don't think so, Cheryl? You guys are you guys letting loose already. Let me get this link together. Cause Anonymous trying to get me in trouble down here in the comment section. And let me copy this link. I'm not gonna be up here getting in trouble by myself. All right, hold on, guys. Let me drop the link. Let me get on my device real quick. And then we will get this panel going. But at this present time, guys, we have 833 watching and 390 likes. If you guys could please, even if you're in the bushes, please hit the like button for me and drop down out of the bushes and come join us and chit chat. Okay, guys, so the link is in the chat as well as pinned at the top. And you guys come give me your opinions on the matter. We also have a couple more topics that I would like to discuss. The Drew Sidora for the Real Housewives of Atlanta fans. Lord have mercy. The Drew Sidora, the Mimi Faust, that's been added on to that. Oh, only open for film purposes. What? Get out of here. All right, guys, let me get my banner up. I do have some guests backstage. Pretty Girl 96.
Hey.
Hello, thanks for joining me. Let me add a couple more. Anonymous.
Hello, Chit Chat. I love you.
I love you too. You know I do. You know I do. We had our little debate. That's all it was. It was a
Well,
debate.
you know what it was. We didn't want Stormy to think that she could attack you. I have to attack you only. That's the thing.
Girl, you know I ain't worried about stuff. Girl, look. You know Stormy don't want none of this.
Look, after what you were doing this week, I wouldn't want any of this either. You were gone.
Glenda Holloway, thanks for joining us.
Hi, ladies.
Hello. Marita.
Hey, hey, hey. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening.
Oh no, pretty brown eyes. She dropped down again.
Oh, she
Howard.
been having issues for
No,
a while.
I know. Cheryl, is this you?
Yes. Hello,
All
ladies.
right.
Hey,
Hello.
Cheryl.
Hey, babe. How y'all doing?
Thank you, lady.
Good.
Pretty
Are
brown.
you and Anonymous gonna behave tonight?
Look,
well, if she don't talk about,
look.
if she don't
Chit
talk,
Chat's been going at everybody this week.
Anonymous attacked me
if she don't
last
talk about no
year.
fish, we'll be fine.
Anonymous attacked me last week. Oh my God. I was
No,
so
no, no. But Chit Chat been going on hotel this whole week. She been on the tear. I've been laughing.
I'm not done with him either. Glenda Holloway, you're back. And give me 1 second, ladies. Let me add LB.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Well, I thank you guys so much for joining me. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start?
Ooh. Let's start with Destiny and get her out the way right quick. okay,
I know, right?
Horizontal blowfish. That's what you're talking about.
let's get horizontal blowfish out the way right quick, because it ain't too much we can say about that, because we want to tear into this other stuff.
Well,
But okay, with Destiny, I am so proud of girl. I am so proud of she. She's doing what we always thought she should do. Admit that Madonna is closed and stop lying. And I'm proud of her for doing that. Okay, so now on to Martin.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Maritha.
We cannot end with just that. How do you fumble
Maritha.
a bag with AAA credit? That's what I'm
And
saying.
that's that on that.
Talk about the
and
grand
that's
idiot.
for me. That's that. I'm proud of Sister Girl for
Was doing Toys birthday.
admitting that the store is closed and she had a good run. But even though she was saying all that, now we find out that the girl was lying. You can't even say goodbye without lying. So, I mean, like, what can you say? Godspeed, much success in your next venture, and I hope you learned something from this, and la la la, blah 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 blah, blah. So on and so forth.
Oh my goodness.
Real quick, and then it's back on you, Maritha. Simply Beautiful, is this you?
It's me.
Excuse me.
All right.
Simply what, girl?
The Love and Marriage Huntsville historian herself, Simply Beautiful.
Child,
Ooh,
how do
boy.
you fumble a bag with AAA credit like this?
Oh my God.
I,
Tell me about it.
With
I
two
don't.
inventions.
So
Well,
she
as
didn't
they
have the
say,
right intentions.
you're only as good as the people that you hang around. So look at her circle.
I know Vienna sausage. Um,
Hmm.
Geez,
You got
I
a
just
static. Maritha, you got a little static.
yeah.
I
You might want to
do.
mute Maritha. But it's sad though. I'm like, well, the good thing is the good-looking Laberic will now be able to do a unlawful retainer to get her out the house soon. So
And is it ironic that they had to actually, both LeBeric and the landlord had to take her to court to get her out?
Mm,
exactly, like I told you, she's a squatting machine.
Right.
right. Yes. The anonymous, you worked me already. I'm searching. Where is my okay?
Look, allegedly.
Squatting, squatting,
Okay,
squatting.
but did
She's squatting
LeBeric take her?
machine.
Did LeBeric take her to court to remove her from the home? I don't think
Yes.
He'll do that next.
allegedly. Did he?
That is so sad. That
But
is
he
so
has to. She
sad.
won't leave. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's sad. I wish she could do something to help her. I really do. That's so sad. She got a baby and everything.
Yeah, but she
You
needs
But
an
know.
she did do
exorcism, a
something.
peel, and an IV drip as well, just like Hotel. That's what I think.
He
I
been
really
I
Right.
do.
don't
And
know,
she
Because
needs
but
to
nobody.
help
paying the mortgage
herself.
for a year.
Exactly.
yeah.
Common sense.
Why
They're
don't she
great
want to?
condos, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms in Huntsville, very cost effective. But she
Hmm.
thinks she should have a 5 bedroom place that she
For
can't even
free?
furnish.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's a lot of room. You're not. That was the marital home, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. That's
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
right.
the marital
Yes.
home. Like,
Right. So I would feel awkward even doing what she's doing, which is entertaining another guy that she seems to be serious about, or trying to make us believe Moses. I'm not sure
Her
if
rental
it's
boyfriend.
that's
Hmm.
the
but
the
it's
Well,
St.
that's
Louis street pharmacist, allegedly, in my
but
opinion.
that says a lot about Moses and what kind of man he is,
exactly
because a real man wouldn't go into another man's house. He
Exactly.
would he would try to help Destiny in some kind of way. But when you got two trifling, no good, some blankety blank, this is what you get.
But
And
This
listen,
in
is
I'm
his
gonna
what you
play
get.
defense,
devil's advocate.
we don't know what she told him. We don't know
Exactly.
if he actually knows if that's still her ex-husband's home.
But,
that's
but
true too.
but do he spend money? Do he spend money?
Who Moses?
Yeah, I mean, you running around with him bragging. What is he doing to help her
Girl,
financially?
you know how them people is. They flash that little money. That's show money. That ain't real
Right.
money like that. What
Hmm.
LeBarrett got. See, with that
Exactly.
show money, you always got to keep that because you might be needing a lawyer at any time.
Cause
Mm-hmm.
At
I'm not
any
running.
time.
I ain't running around with no man that ain't trying to spend no
No,
bills. Nah,
Mm-mm.
not
If
gonna
he ain't
happen.
got,
And I'm struggling, and I'm out here struggling, and you ain't
mm-mm.
spending no money, and I no 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 no.
And if he ain't got no 401, we definitely can't talk.
She said 401 what?
Don't he have an ankle bracelet allegedly?
Allegedly, that's what
That's the
Allegedly.
word on the street.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
alleged.
so he
Ooh,
usually it's
child.
hard for you to get work or employment if you have an ankle bracelet. in my
She
opinion,
got some money
allegedly.
stashed. She got some money stashed.
But you know what, Anonymous? I have seen people that go into establishments with ankle bracelets.
Or
Myself is the you know, and I
You're
thought it would be
afraid
hard
to
for me to
say
get a
it.
job, but it wasn't. You know, if you go in there and you be honest with people about your situation, somebody will help you.
Exactly. You can still
Yeah,
make
if you
And,
money
want
with
and
to
an ankle
work,
bracelet.
that's the
if
key.
you
You
want,
want
yeah,
to work.
exactly.
I agree. I agree.
Jeez.
Yeah. But that was the word allegedly. The reason why he didn't make the trip to the reunion, because it seems like Carlos was looking for him, but Destiny said, what did she say? Unseen for circumstances or whatever prevented him from going to the reunion. So I'm
Child,
with
that was another Giselle.
Or
yeah.
was Hotel upset that he would be there, allegedly, in our opinion?
That's possible.
I agree.
That's what I was about to ask. One of my faves, Kimbella. Now now I know we was calling Maurice Luther King. Are you talking about Martell since he did the march?
Oh God.
Is he trying to be the
Jesus.
next John Lewis from the grave? Is that
The,
what it
gr-
was?
the grand idiot.
Can I ask you this question, Chit Chat?
Oh
Aren't you
Lord.
supposed to brush your teeth before you smile in the camera?
I would hope
Anonymous.
Why does Hotel have yellow teeth? Is he trying to do a colonoscopy on people,
oh
allegedly, in our
my
opinion?
No, that comes from.
goodness.
Remember
Anonymous, he
that comes
doesn't
from
have
eating.
Bell to buy the toothpaste anymore.
Yeah, we
What
got
is
he got
Just
to
keep
stop
the
eating
man
out. He
up.
got to
I'm ready
stop
to get
eating.
on him today.
anonymous now? In his defense,
Oh
according to
God.
coleslaw, you know what he liked to do.
Right.
Say
Eat,
it. Say
Girl, them
eat,
teeth ought to be pearly white.
eating them
Marie,
And she's
groceries.
the only one that said it.
say back for me, Maritha. Back from the bike. That's how.
I mean, I could have brought him some bleach for his teeth. I was like, man,
Yeah, he had pearly whites when he was with Mel. So
Exactly.
that means he's not bathing, y'all. Oh my.
Ooh, child.
Anonymous,
He has definitely
listen.
fallen
That's
from the
why the
throne.
kids look frowning. They were like, "Ooh, daddy, you stink." Oh, please.
now, what do you guys think about the seating arrangements
Ridiculous.
for the children? And since we're discussing kids, we gonna keep it cute. Who dropped down? Maritha, where you go? Okay, guys.
Child, I hope she
I
didn't do a
think the
colonoscopy
lady
right
should
now.
have been in the back.
All right, so let's start with Pretty Girl 96. Did you see the pictures of the parade, and what were your thoughts on the seating arrangements?
Why would he have Knox on his lap?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Well, you know he has to control him.
exactly. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. You gotta
Mhm.
control that kid because he'll be
Yeah,
all over
that's
the
what I
place.
was thinking. That we know. Okay, Maritha's back. I was just chatting. Hold on, guys. Maritha, is this you?
Yeah, this is me.
Okay, I was like,
I
where's she go? Okay,
I
but
didn't see the picture. If you have the picture, can you show it? I can't speak on something I didn't see, so
it's
I
on,
just listen for this part.
yeah, and it's on another content creators page, so I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
But I agree with Pretty Girl, and Pretty Girl, I'm gonna let you finish, but we know that Knox Maverick allegedly majority of the time needs to be, controlled.
Contained.
Hmm.
That's a better word, detained. And I think that could have been why. Even in the little short that I put out today, you heard a couple people saying, "Look at Knox." I think it was Miss Marlene. So I think maybe. But what do you guys? What did you say again, Pretty Girl? And then down the line, what are you all's thoughts on the kids and
like
sitting?
that's what people keep talking about, the favoritism and stuff like that. Like you could have had both kids on your lap.
Yeah.
But you know, with that, even though I didn't see it, no, he couldn't have, because you know what? Sugar Mama has home training. She's
Mm,
well behaved.
Hmm.
That little boy is buck wild. And
Exactly.
to be around that kind of crowd, Sugar Mama knew how, she know how to handle that. kind of maneuver it a little bit, even though she's young because of her upbringing. This little boy is basically, he has no upbringing, not from his mom, not from his dad. He kind of behave a little bit with Martell, but he's not really behaving that much with Martell because we saw how he was behaving at the dinner that they had crawling all over the seats. And
The
for all
cheese
we know, that little boy could have just, it could have went far worse than what it did. So for him to, kind of take hold of the little boy and keep him in check a little bit, I think that was the best thing at that time because that
Mhm.
little boy is overly stimulated. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just yeah, he's overly that little boy made me nervous by just looking at him through the screen.
Yeah,
He's
very,
hyperactive.
very hyper.
Yeah, that's the word I'm trying to use. He's
and
too, yeah, he's very hyper.
Yeah. Now, do you guys think it's a normal terrible two stage or that he's just over hyper?
He was like
Like,
that
I
before
think
he
it
was
has a
two.
lot to do
a
with
lot of
his
sugar.
with his mom and the behavior that she has portrayed in front of him.
mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and
It's like
I
he basically raises himself because she's on live all the time.
And
hmm
it don't help giving him all that sugar early in the morning.
Mhm.
yeah, and if you ever been around a 2-year old, they're not they what they do just no they talk back at you like they telling you bust a move or something like that. But this little boy, it's not terrible tools with him. This little boy he is so hyper to the point that when he called his mama that B word, and then when he went in, see what we
That,
just saw when he called her that B word, and then when he pulled out that liquor bottle, that wasn't the first time that little boy done did that,
but
because the girl never pays
that's
attention to the child.
right, and that's what I was gonna say. Just what Pacino Rules just stated. It's really not his fault. We have to, and I know you're not saying it is, Maritha, but the blame goes towards
The
the
parent.
The
like
parents,
like
yeah.
the dominant parent. So, we can see the difference, and and we're gonna move from Knox to the girls in the back, but we can see the difference in the parenting, which further upsets me because we know that, I mean, Martell tries to act like an army drill sergeant, if you ask me, when it comes to the kids, but those kids are well mannered from a very young age. So with Sugar Mama only being a year older than Knox Maverick, you can still see the difference. And I think that Martell takes that for granted and assumes that she's older than she is, in a sense, if I'm saying that right.
I
Um,
Yeah.
agree.
yeah, and I think he's just confident in knowing that she's going to behave, and I think that that plays into a lot of the times when we see him with the other child with Knox. That's why he already always have them, under his.
And you know what?
Mhm.
I'm gonna agree with that too because he know the 4 children that he have. He know how they were raised because he did have a hand in that, and but he knows their mom, and he know what type of mom that deep down inside. He knows what type of mom that they really have.
Mhm.
So it's not Knox's fault, and I'm not blaming Knox or anything like that because he's just a baby. He
Right.
didn't ask to be in this mess.
Yep.
He just got he was just born to the people that he was born to, and
Mhm.
and his mom,
Mhm.
she can't be a mom because she wasn't raised by a mom. Even though she was raised in the house with her mom, it's almost like how children have to start raising themselves, or the little ones, the oldest have to start raising the younger ones, and that's what I'm seeing with his mom. So it's by no fault of his that he's the way that he is. Now we can really blame that on the mama.
Yeah,
No,
for
it is
sure.
the parents. It's the parents for sure.
For sure.
And
Because
then
you
and
know
then
what?
and then
It's
and then
like,
my thing is, how does she help him when he's allegedly being kicked out of daycares and all that, daycare centers and all that kind of stuff? How does that really help? How do they help him? I mean, how does the parents help him?
yeah, well, I didn't hear that.
Allegedly,
Yeah, I didn't
I
hear
heard,
anything
I've heard he
about
got
that,
well.
but
from Black
Yeah, but if
Titanic.
that is the case, and if that is true, that's
Allegedly.
yeah, it's alleged, but that still ties back to
The
his parents.
parents.
You know what I mean? He's two. He's a baby.
Yeah, the parents.
Given the opportunity, he's gonna do what he wants, like any other kid would do.
Absolutely.
I mean, given the opportunity, if they can run wild, they're gonna run wild. If they
Hmm.
taught to sit and be still and this and that, then that's what they're gonna do. So it all boils down to the dominant parent, as
Hmm.
Marcel likes to say, which is his mom. And she said it. My son he's a boy. He gonna do this and he gonna do that. And I just think that it's such a big difference because of how well mannered the Hope children are and how they've always been, even at that age. But great topic. What do you guys think about the girls on the back of the truck?
Disgusting.
They weren't dressed to be sitting on the
They
back of
wasn't
that
dressed to be sitting in the back. They had dresses on.
Yeah.
Male chauvinist pig.
Well, I think that's the thing. Is that Cheryl that said that?
Yes.
That's what I'm noticing,
He's
and I
a male
said it
chauvinist
last time we
pig.
talked. It, I think Hotel is intentionally trying to enforce bro code on the
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
He's
Male
Well,
having
chauvinist.
them
he's a.
treated separately. He's having them treated separately as part of, I believe, parental alienation, what usually narcissists will do.
Mm.
Um,
He has a
And
Yes,
caveman.
they will.
He has a caveman mentality.
yeah,
there
but
we
I
The
think,
women
I
are
don't know if he got it
women
from
come
his
last.
mom. I think he got it from the barber shop, the men that he hangs around with, the
Yeah. Yeah.
hermaphrodite men that he likes, allegedly, in my opinion.
his uncles, the Uncle
Yeah.
Dexter,
That's who he gets
get
it from.
credit.
Men are the kings and women are the peasants. That's his whole
Yeah,
How
mentality.
that's
you
his
doing,
view.
QT and panel and
oh,
guests?
hi Hannah. Hi
Hi,
Hannah.
Hi,
Hannah.
Anna.
Hi,
Hello,
Hannah. I
everyone.
didn't mean to cut you off, Anonymous and Cheryl. I definitely think it's caveman mentality. I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
we know that, and it's so odd to me because I'm like, I got family in Mississippi, and I got family in Kentucky, which are hours away from Huntsville. But and they don't show any signs like that. Marceau has a caveman mentality where the men are superior, and
Yes.
I think that's what you guys are saying in a roundabout way, that he's basically training the boys to feel superior and the girls to feel inferior. Is that
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a it's a, well, it's one I guess when I was reading it, parental alienation is the term. It's called parental alienation syndrome. If you just
yep.
look it up, I'll
Mhm.
probably send it to you in the private chat.
Okay? I
Um,
took it up too. I got my advice here.
yeah, it's something where the narcissist, and it could be a woman too, not just to say the man, where it's a divide and conquer strategy. I think he does it with the birthday recognition from Martell Jr. and not have the kids be done. The way that they were seated, to me, it's like the men were more favored in seating while the women have to be at the back of the bus or the
Mhm.
back of the truck.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And I think in his mind, it's a, I think he does it to try to irritate Melody
Mm-hmm.
and women and just get attention. Because and another thing I was just going to say, because I know everybody's talking, I don't, because I'm working too at the same time. But I'm starting to think Martell wants Melody to have full custody so he can only be a parent maybe once every weekend.
I agree. I think he does as well. I think he got too deep into the whole custody battle because remember, he wanted to renege. He wanted to pull back, but Mel was like, no, you started it. I'm going to finish it. So I
Exactly.
Yeah,
think he wanted to
Exactly.
pull out a while ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the reason why I say this is, and maybe that chit chat, that thing that you put 2 days ago that talked about that man that was saying that he had 7 kids, but he didn't want to be a father.
Mhm.
Mm.
I heard allegedly that Hotel has stopped doing his businesses so he can make it look like he doesn't have money.
Well,
I
I put
believe
that in
that.
the video
Anonymous.
too. I put that in that
That is
video.
so. I believe that.
Yeah, and then also there's some. I think he's getting help with Mr. Margarine, MLK the third,
Yep. Come on, Anonymous.
Who is
legally.
that?
Come
But
on.
you know what? Even with that anonymous, you know what? Getting advice from somebody. Mm.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's going to work for this reason, and this is why
Okay,
I
that's
think
what I'm trying
hotel.
to
Thank
get
you.
out, trying to
Go
be
Well,
ahead.
nice.
hotel is
Go
not
ahead.
understanding. The court can impute your income. They don't. They if both parents are supposed to be working, if you're doing fraud to make it look like you're not working, they can make you work.
Especially if you are able-bodied individual, what
Exactly.
Correct.
judge
That's
will
what I'm
look at
saying.
Exactly.
you
He's
and
an
say, "Why are
able-bodied
you not
individual.
working?"
The judge is
Yeah.
gonna ask him, why is he not working?
Yeah,
Right.
somebody told him because I heard on another blog who was I don't know Alabama law, allegedly in my opinion, that there's some kind of caveat that he's trying to get the court to reverse the alimony where they don't have alimony and child support. And I don't think that's right. I think her attorney is gonna, if I was Melody, like if she was in my shoes, I would keep the original custody arrangement for this reason. Hotel needs to work on being a good father.
He sure does.
And he needs the millimeters, which I'm one of them, and the rest of us to get on him like wine on rice to start learning how to be a good father.
He
He's
needs to
never
learn
going to
how to
learn if
be
you
a
don't
good
get
man.
him to get it.
He need to know how to be a good person.
Yes,
Right.
I was gonna say who said that because that's number one. Because without being a good man, you can't be a good
Exactly.
Absolutely.
dog, a
That's
Exactly.
good
true.
nothing.
Yeah,
But
but he has to have consequences. I'm just saying, I think he's been what I've noticed with Hotel is that he always gets people that allows him to do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he doesn't take accountability for anything.
Nope.
This court custody case where she's doing off and on visitation, he has to not be with his peasants and other women during that week.
yeah,
He has to watch those kids.
yeah.
And sometimes with people, you have to give them a regiment. You have to give them something so they cannot have an idle mind,
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
and plan to do something against his wife all the time. So
You know
that's
what? How
just my
I feel
opinion.
about right, and how I feel about that is, for me, my opinion, Mel needs peace, and with full custody, she will get peace. Now we know that she's not the type of woman that will just keep her kids away from him if she
Mm-hmm.
granted full custody. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as him getting in a regimen or schedule or who he with or what, all that's just going to be what it is. I think that he's grasping for straws right now. And whoever brought it up that said that he wanted to drop it, but she said, no, you started this, so
Mm-hmm.
finish it. I think
Mm-hmm.
she's doing that for a reason because it's easy to drop it. They didn't have the courts involved at all at first, which is the
Correct.
ideal situation. You don't want people in your business and things of that nature, like he says. You know,
Well,
Right.
I think it was the best thing if you think about it, chit chat and panel, that, really having every other week helps her because right now she's touring.
Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It
So
helps
it's
her.
it's
Helps.
it's kind of where he has to kind of do it. So I'm just thinking somebody's telling him a strategy here. Let's just say this. He's not doing this by himself. Let's just say this.
I
That's
agree.
true.
He
I
listening to the
agree.
wrong.
Somebody's telling him to do
He can't
something
think
to
that far.
irritate.
He listening to the wrong people because how you
right.
But
gonna
you
walk
know
in court
what?
with
The
no
people
job?
that Martell had, the people that seems like they are in Martell's corner. If you look at it, everything that somebody try to tell this man to do is not
It's
working.
not work. Oh
Mhm.
my God.
Because okay, he write a statement allegedly about the Devon guy, the council person. You come back and you apologize, but you never said you were sorry to this man. Not one, I haven't seen where he said he was sorry. He wrote a statement. Okay, he wrote this statement. Now all of us know that Martell did not write that because he is not smarter than a second grader.
He's too
We know
dumb.
that. And then he write this statement about how happy he is or whatever he is about doing this parade that he's doing. Martell is dumb. He is dumb. He
Well,
is mentally dumb. This
right.
man is dumb.
He is
I
crazy.
don't. And
Give me 1 second, guys. Kimbella, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, Mississippi, where my daddy was born and
Yes,
raised.
ma'am, Mississippi.
Yes. But no, real quick, Marita, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, and then please continue. All of that is for ego. Martell
Yep.
is in his element being phony. He feels like
Mm-hmm.
somebody. The way he was standing there in Selma today, like he was really a part of this civil rights movement, or he's gonna make a change or a difference. That's in his element. Actually, it's in the element of who we thought he was in the beginning. You know what I mean? Him
Mm-hmm.
writing that long post about Devin Keith, and like you said, with no apology, no oops, my bad, I misspoke, or I don't even know why I put that in the beginning. That's delusion of grandeur, like they say.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
That's all Martell is.
Mm-hmm. Nobody really recognized him there. From what I heard, nobody
Mhm.
recognized him.
he's a poser. He's a poser. I mean, you like I doing something like that.
Wow.
If the people who accepted that for him, they're doing him so much of an injustice. You helping this man to perpetrate a fraud against his children, against the court system. You gonna just do you're not gonna work, man. How you taking care of yourself? This show is gonna be over shortly.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you, Martell do not have five $1 bills to crumple up together and make it a whole $5 bill. I bet this man has nothing saved.
Well, Hoochie
Nothing.
Burger is
Chit chat.
hiring.
Chit
Yeah,
chat.
let me read this
Leave
comment.
that. Leave that brother alone.
Straight Shooter Network, leave that brother alone. Let him be the great
Oh,
father he
please.
is. Black men are the best fathers. I agree that black men are the best fathers,
Some of,
should be the best fathers,
But
but
some of
the
he
them.
ain't the example.
Some of them.
best fathers aren't trying to take the kids away from their mother, who is more fit than he could ever be. So it's not
Exactly.
like people are just picking on
That
Martell,
part.
picking on Martell. Straight Shooter, I am curious. Do you think that what he's doing as far as trying to get full custody is okay? Because I don't. But I'm sorry, guys. Let's move on down the panel. Cheryl Howard, and
Yes.
after Cheryl, we're going to have Linda.
Yes.
What's your
Uh,
thoughts, Cheryl?
the grand idiot as the grand. Oh gosh, he is no kind of father. He need to stop. A real father don't try to take children away from their
That's
mother.
it. That's all.
And at the end of the day, you can't stand there fighting for civil rights when you're trying to strip the rights of a mother raising her children. So you don't.
Hmm.
And what has he done? What has he sacrificed to fight for someone's civil rights?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Why he
So
got why he got his ex-wife fighting for her motherly rights?
right, he trying to strip her rights away as a mother.
Yeah.
Please, I think
Hmm.
he's a deadbeat. I don't care what Straight Shooter says. He's a deadbeat, and he always will be, as far as I'm concerned. And you can't walk in court with no job. How you gonna walk in court, one parent working, yet he's not working? Does that
Yeah.
make any sense? And I
Yeah.
and I
And,
and I also wanted to know also, can he go into Melody's financial records to find out how much he makes?
I think he's gonna have a problem with that on two reasons, Cheryl.
they're divorced.
One, I think Melody is smart. She probably has her being paid as an employee through a company. So what she's having in her bank accounts, he's not going to be able to get access to the business accounts.
And
Two,
I think the
right. And
only
even
way
if
he could
I'm,
do that.
1 second, simply, even if she doesn't, they are divorced. So her
That's
that's
it.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
right,
and that divorce is over, done with, signed,
for
sealed,
almost 3 years.
Yeah,
right. So
that issue is an objection her counsel would possibly file. He can't get it.
no, he
I
can't.
mean,
He
but
can't do
Good,
that. He's doing it.
good.
I believe that, and just like Martell said, and then I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you continue, Cheryl. Just like he said that he had to let his first lawyer go. I think Martell is just doing Martell against wishes of his attorney and everything else. Because if he's purposely not working for the sake of trying to get some sort of child support, if he does get full custody. All of that, an attorney would tell you is not a good look because
Right.
her attorneys can flip that and say, look, he doesn't even have income coming in. How can he get custody of the kids? So, I think she's straight as far as her money, her businesses. That's why she dissolved everything. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Can I
It's not his business.
usually during most custody battles, each party is supposed to turn over their financials. I don't
To the
know if he's
judge,
supposed. Yeah,
not
like that's
him.
in discovery. I don't know what he's doing by basically subpoenaing her banks. Technically, they're not supposed to disclose her information or what's in that account.
That's
Right.
confidential. You can't do that.
Yeah, they can't do that at
But
You
you
all.
know
cannot do
the
that.
bottom line is Mel, just like Mel is protecting her peace, Mel is protecting her money.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
That's
And
right.
and it is gonna take the devil and all his imps, but it ain't gonna happen because she's protected by God. Martell ain't getting none of Mel money. If
No.
he get any of her money, it's gonna be because the kids ain't got no food over there in his house, and
Right.
she did, she did an online order
Or
and
she
So if
got
paid
he
for it that
needs,
way.
right. Or
if
she got to
he's
pay
that
his light
desperate,
bill again.
if
Yes,
he's that
exactly.
desperate for her money, then he don't need full custody of the kids. Technically, you're supposed to
Absolutely.
prove that you can financially take care of the kid. And I'm sorry, for what Own is allegedly paying them, he can't take care of them kids full time.
That's probably why he's trying to get the Bravo.
Mhm.
But we all know the men don't make the money. That's why
They
he
don't make no
paid
money at
escort.
Bravo.
Well, I'm saying when Sheree, if Sheree making X amount of dollars and he get 10% of what to Sheree gonna get allegedly give him
Marisa,
10%, he'll have a little
Marisa,
bit of money.
You
Look,
think
the,
so,
Marisa,
the
he
right?
big
better
the
hope
big time
Sheree pay
stars,
him.
the big
Sure.
time stars on Real Housewives of Atlanta, the Nenes, the Portias, the
Yeah.
Candies, starting off getting paid 2 million per season.
He
Um,
ain't gonna get
so
nothing.
right,
He
the
better hope
Sheree,
Sheree
the
pay him.
Sheree, and the Cynthia Bailey, and all of them. Kenya Moore probably getting 1 million or more now, but they getting $600,000-700,000 per season. They get paid on Bravo.
Oh, I know they get paid on Bravo.
The
Mhm.
men?
The women get
No,
paid. The
not the
men
men,
don't.
the
Oh,
women.
oh, okay.
Women, yeah, the women. Hmm.
Cause don't he think Sheree gonna get tired of hearing about Melody this, Melody that, Melody this? All he do is talk about Melody when he with that woman. He talk about Melody. She ain't no good. She ain't this. She ain't that. Don't he think that Sheree gonna get tired of hearing about Melody 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all he do
Cheryl.
is talk about Melody. That's why Arion don't like her.
Brown
Because
eyes.
all he talk about is Melody, Melody, Melody,
Cheryl,
Melody.
Cheryl,
Yes.
I need everybody to pause. Please be able to connect Pretty Brown Eyes.
Okay.
Pretty Brown Eyes. Here. Pretty Brown Eyes. Oh no. Sharon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, Pretty Brown Eyes, I got you connected. I'm gonna leave you connected in case your sound comes in. All right, but let's see here. Hannah Grace. Hey Hannah. Hannah.
Hello, sorry. Hopefully I can keep my internet connected. But
Yes, okay.
yes, great. Everything y'all saying is correct. I just really
Uh,
don't nothing that Martell do surprises me when it comes to the kids. He wasn't even thinking when he put those two kids on the back of that truck like that.
yeah.
Hmm.
And that was, it's, and I'm kind of, at first I did not agree with Anonymous regarding, how he treated the boys different from the girls. But now that I'm really beginning to change that opinion slowly but surely. But I'll keep looking. Right now, it's just I don't think he thinks about anything because I don't even think he was prepared for that. Because if he was, he would have called them people and asked them for car seats. Like, I'm bringing my kids. He should have had the kids' clothes. I mean, some coats and sweaters or whatever. He didn't seem like he had any of that. But anyway, that doesn't surprise me. And when it comes to Destiny, You know what? I did not even know she was saying she closed Madonna down. She never said that.
She
I know she
just said
talked
it.
about it in the past tense, but then she brought it back up again at the end. So I'm not sure what this girl trying to do. She basically trying to hold on. I guess I don't know what she's doing, but we'll find out shortly because I think that you know I really don't know, but she probably gonna be out of that house pretty soon. I don't know, but anyway, time will tell. And then with what else were you talking about? Destiny and Martell and the kids. And what was the third topic we were talking about?
Destiny, Martell, and Tisha.
Oh, Tisha's dress. Yeah, yeah, you
Was
know,
it much?
Straight
with the
shooter.
grand
Come on.
marshal thing. I agree with people. I think these people need to definitely vet these people. Martell had no business being the grand marshal of anything when it comes to because of the way he has treated his family. And see, that's what I've been saying so long is that he keep on getting rewarded for his bad behavior. And that to me, that
Hmm.
disturbs me greatly because I know Anonymous, you think that he don't want the kids or he wants Melody to get full custody. I don't think so because if she gets full custody, then he won't be the great dad that he say that he is. He's only using those kids, in my opinion, for his own self gratification to look good because he know that if it wasn't for him saying I'm a great father, he can't say anything else about himself.
That's
To me,
true.
he
Yeah.
can't say anything. I mean, nobody would say, even the people that supporting him would have nothing else good to say. Like one of the people in the chat said, leave the brother alone. The brother needs to leave. Nobody needs to leave him alone because of what he did and how he did it. I'm not saying that he has to pay for what he did for the rest of his life because he's divorced. He divorced his wife. And people get divorced every day, but it's
Yeah.
rarely you see a man get on social media, call their wife, and she was his wife at the time, with his 4 children, had just had a baby by him out of her name. And then look her in the face and tell her that she wasn't satisfying him. All of the dirty things that he was doing to her, he don't need nobody to get up on him. I mean, to until he changed his behavior, he still comes at that girl, at his ex-wife for no reason now.
Mm-hmm.
Even she invited him and she tried to call a truce with him, invited him on to Destin, paid for the whole trip for this clown to eat up her food and take advantage of her resources. He went back to Huntsville and told his baby's mama about her problem, her medical problem that she didn't tell him to tell. And then he got on Dr. Heavenly and told her about her medical concerns. That was none of his business, but he did all of that. So who's gonna leave him alone? People
Yeah.
need to stay on him. If it was me, I'm sorry.
No, I was
Yeah.
saying I agree with you.
so, so so
I don't think that unfortunately Martell has tuned out the audience. So that's why we see that he doesn't have much presence on social media and all of that. So we all can basically scream to the top of our lungs. Narcissists, this is something that they do when they know that they're hearing something that's right. They tend to, act like they never heard it or tune it out completely. So I don't think that will ever make a difference when it comes to Martell. I
And
think that the only thing that's going to make a difference is if he loses joint custody, even if it's temporary, to let him know the court means business as well as his ex wife. But I'm sorry, let me welcome Maritha back. And Red Ann, you are from Huntsville, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And are you the one that had the similar situation that happened with your ex husband?
correct.
I thought so. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'm sorry, Hannah. Were you done with your statement before I cut you off? Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick, Hannah, again. Guys, we have over 1,000 watching, 1,030 ish, and 584 likes. If you're in the bushes, please hit the like button for me. It is free. Please.
Chit chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, this straight eight shooter, this whoever that
Yeah,
is,
that's what I was gonna talk about. What the
you
hell?
know, everybody has their opinion, and what we're saying about Martell, we're only talking about what we know and what we have seen of Martell. Yes, children need both their parents, but if both their parents can't be in the same house, still they need both their parents. No one is down in Martell. Martell write the material himself for us to speak about. You know what you feel. You have your opinion. Everybody on this panel have their opinion, but it's right now it just feel like you trying to start something, and I don't
Mm,
think this is not my channel, so I can't tell you, but this is not the place for that. If you got something to say and you don't like what we're saying, come on up in the chat and let's talk
Yeah,
about it.
He said,
right.
"I believe the
Give me
I
one
brother
believe
was
second,
that
straight."
brother
Marie.
works with his
Give me one
hands.
second, panel. And straight shooter, I haven't
Oh
seen
Jesus.
anything. One second. I haven't seen anything that's been disrespectful. I haven't seen it just yet. I'm scanning the comments. But like Maritha just said, I welcome all opinions. We all aren't going to agree. So as long as you keep it respectful in the comments, or once somebody drop down from the panel, hit the link. But yeah, this is not a bash Martell. This is a bash Martell's actions. And straight shooter, again, I don't care really what you say as far as what he's doing actively at this moment. They just had court a couple days ago. That's not right. Period.
And you know, I'm thinking now the reason why Martell has been so quiet is because this parade grand marshal thing was coming up. And he
Yep.
knew it was coming up. So he couldn't act like a donkey and lead that parade, that civil rights parade. So that's why he was quiet, and that's why the little minion of his was quiet also. Now we're gonna see a totally different Martell coming up in the week, because now Mel is getting ready to do her little tour, do her thing, and you know Mel has been posting the flowers that Big Papa been sending her and stuff like that.
Mm,
This fool
yes.
finna this
Big
fool
Papa.
Oh,
what
Maritha.
this fool was holding it all in. He was holding it all in because he had to be the one. He had to be up there smiling. And if you asked him a question about the civil rights, he couldn't even answer the question properly. He
Yeah.
couldn't even answer it right.
I
So
couldn't even
now
spell it.
this nut who is nuttier than a fruit cake is getting ready to act like a real donkey come in the following weeks.
Well,
Watch and see what I tell you.
The
think that,
grand
and I
dummy.
believe you, I think we're going to see something, but I also think that he's trying to put on his best behavior online because of this court case as well. So, but yeah, I believe you,
Yeah.
he's the
Yeah.
type that has to somewhat try to hold it in and then he just bursts. But let's hear from
Let
Red.
me say one last thing, chit chat, before we go
Okay,
on. Just one.
and
Just
next we're going to have Red Ann, who is a
okay. Just one last thing. And the only thing I want to say is the reason we're talking about this is because even though it is Martell that we're talking about, it's a lot of women that's going through the same thing with different
Yes,
with
indeed.
other people. So this is why we're talking about his behavior, and it needs to be talked about, in my opinion. And
Oh
thanks for
yeah,
letting me
we're
share
gonna keep
that.
talking about it, whether he listen or not. Excuse me, but we're gonna keep talking about it. Like I said, it would be nice if he would change his behavior, and it would be nice if he wouldn't be so cruel to do what he's doing. And if Mel was unfit, I would 100% say Martell deserves full custody. We all know that that's not the case, you
Right.
know, and yeah, it's just wrong. But
Yeah.
Red Ann, can you give us your story again? Because if I'm not mistaken, you said that you went through this process in Huntsville, as far as going back and forth to court for 3 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Oh my goodness. Mm-mm-mm.
Um, with the court cases, the courts always want you to try to come to amicable decisions about the children,
Mhm.
schooling, health care, that type of thing. If it gets to a point where it can't be hashed out outside of court, then that's when, of course, the attorneys and the courts have to get involved. Now, if they do ask for your financials, um, if one party feels that the other is trying to hide money, that type of thing, they can subpoena your bank records.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um, which is what we did. We had to subpoena bank records because him and his attorney were, lying about what he made, that type of thing. But um, he's not going to win against, as far as having the courts to take the children from Melody. That's not going to happen. If they are doing 50-50, that's what it is. When the children are with her, she provides for, you know, um, clothing, food, whatever expenses come with that during the time that they're with her. And likewise with him. Now, with it being 50-50, if he doesn't have income, I absolutely do not know how in the world he thinks that court is going to award him custody of those children, and he can't provide for four kids.
You're right.
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Go,
So I
ooh,
don't know why he's pretty much wasting the court's time, and I really wish they would just kind of, you know, fine him for doing this, get it, just
Yeah.
throw it out, because this is getting really, really ridiculous.
Because especially with you saying that most likely is going to remain the same 50-50. So what is the purpose of spending money for attorneys, going back and forth to court? Like you just said, I wish that there was a way that they can fine him or do something. I really don't see them taking joint custody from him. And it's just really a big inconvenience and waste of time.
But
You
I
know,
read,
Mel
but I,
already had the
I
kids in
I
counseling and all of that.
but I
I
read that
think
I,
they can
narcissist.
restructure it.
What
The
happened?
50, well, I think they can restructure the joint custody, which is like a, if I'm not mistaken, a 70-30 or an 80-20 ruling,
Mm,
where 80% of the time they with their mom, and then 20% of the time they're with him, like
I like
every other
that.
week, every other weekend ordeal, which might be
well,
better.
you also have to take into consideration the kids are school age. So the courts really, really frown on uprooting the children from, you know, their schools, things like that. They want the children to be as least affected as possible. Period.
Well,
Because
I
They could
originally I
care
thought,
less. They could care less how it inconveniences the parent. They don't care. They
Hmm.
think about those children first. So if it's in the best interest of those children to stay put at this school and, thrive, then that's what they're going to do. Now, if they continue down this road, the judge can very well pull those older children into their chamber and talk to them.
exactly.
yep.
Hmm.
They can
That's
pull those
exactly what's
children
gonna
into the
happen.
chamber. They will reach out to the schools. They will talk to the teachers. They will talk to the administrators there. So if he wants to continue to go down this road of
Hmm.
just, you know, being an absolute thorn in her side, he's only
Yeah,
making it worse
for
for
himself.
himself. Period.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
I read that I read something not over the weekend that narcissists like to keep the parent in court as a way of to control them, to keep
Bro.
them back and forth in court,
Mm-hmm.
and they use the system and they use the legal system to do it.
but
Yeah.
But how
you
long can you keep
know,
doing it?
you know, I have a couple of friends who has been through this, and it gets to a point to where the judge get tired. Their judge got tired, and the judge even asks, like, When the kids are with him, how's their behavior? When the kids are with her, like when they go to school, how are they in school?
Correct.
Because even though we see these kids sometimes when they're with male, it's so totally different. It's like they're a budding flower. It's like they're opening up and blooming and they're blossoming. And then when there's a smile on their face, but there's not smiles in their eyes.
Them kids look miserable.
And I always look at their eyes when they're with their dad, and they love him, and I know they do. And it's just like they just caught in the middle of a bad situation, and it's not on their mom. Mel is done everything but bend herself up, twist herself up like a pretzel to be fair with Martell. But that's not good enough for Martell. Martell definitely don't want 4 kids at one time full time. Cause them girls alone gonna drive him crazy.
Hmm.
Well, I know in the state of Alabama, you have to take a parenting class. And the last time I checked, that parenting class is mandatory.
Hmm.
That is an absolute mandatory thing that you have to take. And it's a means for the parents to truly sit down and see how the divorce is going to affect the children, and for them to be able to put whatever issues that they have and how they feel towards each other to the side for the sake of the well-being of the children, which is a good thing. I mean, that's something that has to be in the paperwork with the divorce. It has to be. And if you do not take that class, you will not be able to get those children until that class is taken.
Mm.
So I'm assuming with him having his children
He
that
take.
he's taken that class, and that was probably part of the divorce. But they do also say that the children you cannot have any overnight visitors that stay under your roof when you have your children. They cannot be there. They cannot be there.
Any overnight visitors?
As far a romantic person,
Women. Okay.
someone that you're romantically involved with,
Hmm.
they cannot be there. No,
Hmm.
they are not supposed to be there. No.
But I allegedly heard that allegedly heard that Melody wants to relocate and
Well,
leave.
she
Bill.
said that.
Yeah, she been
So
saying that.
and and she has footage of Martell when it's her week, like when she had the birthday party for their daughters. That week she had them. What did he do? He came there to the birthday party allegedly, acting
Allegedly.
a fool, acting a fool. So how can you co-parent with someone that continues to break the rules?
Hmm.
When it's her week, he has no business harassing her, coming to birthday parties or any other events she's having for the children. That's her week. So how can she co-parent with somebody like that? When
And
Yeah.
she
that's
has a
what's
full
going to
week,
help
he shows
her.
up, he pops up.
And that's
Well,
what's
He
he's
going to help her in her case because
exactly
he's 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 showing the court that he cannot abide by the rules.
right.
He
Hmm.
walks he sets his own agenda, and if the courts have outlined that this is your time, this is her time, if it's her time and you're not invited,
Right.
you can't go. You can't be there. You
And he
can't.
showed up at many other like the movie set when she made the movie. He showed up acting crazy at the
but
reunion,
he said
allegedly
wherever
acting
his
crazy.
children are, he said wherever his children are, he don't care what they say, he's
Of
gonna be
course,
there.
of
So
course.
that's what he's doing. He's showing he don't care about what the judge said. Them his
No,
children. He could do what he want to do
no,
because them my children. So
And
he
when
feel
and when he has that type of thought process,
exactly.
they really need to be paying attention to that because that can be very, very dangerous.
Hmm.
And
Because there have been men out there that have been married, that have been with, their spouse, their significant other, and they have children together. And when they feel like their control is no longer there, they may not harm the ex, they may harm the children to
Mm-hmm.
ultimately get to the
Yep.
ex.
Yep.
So,
Also,
so they really need to pay attention to that. But all of that information will come out because of the sporadic behavior that
Mm-hmm.
he has. That kind of movement isn't good. It's
And
Yeah.
just not good.
and
He's
allegedly,
he's definitely doing more damage than good. And it's gonna come back to bite him. Let me add
Yeah. I'm
Cameron.
gonna drop down. I'm gonna
And
drop
also,
down.
and
Oh,
also, you understand too.
thank you so much. I was looking for you. You see, I remember your story. And
Yes.
please feel free to hit the link at any time.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing direct knowledge of what goes on at the courthouse there at in Huntsville.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And
Cameron, are
also,
you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hey,
All
everybody.
right. Hi, Cameron. Thank
hi.
hello.
you for joining us.
Hello.
And I remember you as well, Cameron. Are you the one that spoke of how this affected you and your siblings? And
Yeah, yeah. So
okay,
I missed a little bit of y'all. Well, I actually missed the whole live. Like I came in the beginning, then kind of missed it when you opened up the chat. But yeah, that was me. So I don't really know everything that you guys were talking about.
well,
But
we were talking about. Well, now we're on the custody of the kids. We're discussing that. We spoke about him having this grand marshal title this weekend in Selma. And yeah, what else did we
oh
discuss?
yeah, so
Keisha and yeah.
I definitely wanted to tap in on that because I saw his video with the kids and that his oldest daughter, oh my gosh, I see so much of me in her. She
Mhm.
is, and then I know you guys were talking about, you can see it in the kids eyes, like yes, they smile obviously because their parents have taught them how to conduct themselves with manners and class, so obviously they're going to have a certain appearance, but you can see it in their eyes. And wasn't she the one that was crying in the car when he made that big scene at her office?
Yes.
Yeah, or then he
Yep.
had to come back. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That baby know more. She knows so much. She knows so much. And I honestly, I pray a lot for her specifically because she knows she has pieces of her mom's and dad relationship that the youngest two are never going to really understand. Her and Tank are going through things that the youngest two aren't really going to get. And the youngest two are going to come out, in my opinion, this is my opinion, they're going to come out, on top of this more so than the oldest two. Like they're gonna have to do a lot more healing. And I
Mm-hmm.
only say that because I told you guys I came on here like the last time you had your panel, and I let you guys know like me and some of my friends and my sisters, we are the Eminem kids. So a little bit of my story. My mom has 4 daughters. So, and I'm the second oldest. So I know exactly what the oldest is going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they have the most knowledge, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They remember as far back as they can. So yeah, I would definitely think that that would be the case. And again, it just shows how selfish he is because he's not taken into consideration any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Any of it. Like I said, if we all have seen enough of their lives on TV, on social media, where we can determine that Mel is more than fit,
Right.
especially more than he is. You know what I'm saying? So it's just terrible that he's even allowed to do this. It's a waste of taxpayers' money as far as paying these judges, a waste of his money paying attorney, Mel money paying attorneys. All of that could be funds that could be set up for their kids' future. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But he's
It's
being
just terrible.
spiteful. He's
And the
going
truth,
to end up
Exactly.
losing and taking the biggest L because That's just my opinion because when the courts see that Melody is actually extremely fit, doing everything that she has to do, they're going to end up giving him, or they probably going to end up making him pay more child support than
He should.
Mel was asking for. Because I know that was a similar situation with my mom. I think she asked my dad for like $400 a week. He didn't want to do that because she left him. So the court ended up making him pay 1,500 every
Mhm.
other week. It
Well,
was
see, that
crazy.
that's the thing though. She didn't ask him for any
Right.
child.
She didn't ask him for no child support.
She didn't ask him for any. She just wanted to, hey, we're
Well,
divorced.
it
It's over.
wasn't her asking for child support. It's one of those things like we got 4 kids together, so give me $400 every
No,
week.
no, I wasn't talking about your mom. I'm
Oh,
talking
oh,
about Mel. She didn't
oh
ask
yeah.
him, so
She didn't
he's
ask
not
him for
paying any
anything.
child support. And
No.
that's what I said. She need to, if she can, she needs to make a revision to that. I'm not sure if she can, because the divorce is final. But maybe since they're in this child custody battle, that's something that can be redetermined.
I think the
Yeah,
only
Yeah, because
reason
custody can do
Mel
that.
probably shouldn't open the child support up is because she makes more than him.
It
So
doesn't
they
matter.
will give him
Agreed.
money, her
It,
money.
yeah.
it doesn't matter how much doesn't you got to matter. make. It
Mhm.
doesn't Doesn't matter how matter. much you make because the court gonna look at both paychecks
Yeah,
and
but
he
it's going
got
to
to pay child
depend based
support.
on
And
the court.
whoever got physical custody of the kids at that time. But
Right.
again, if they go 50-50, the court won't use the money. But if who got physical custody majority of the time, the other
Right.
parent gonna pay the money. So
Yeah.
also he need to worry about having a place of his own, and each kid has their own rooms. That's one of the things that the custody the judge will look at.
Doesn't he
The
stay with
age
Miss
the age
Marlene?
range of the children cannot be in the same room. So if there's a big gap in the age range, the kids can be in the same room. So he must have 5 bedrooms for 5 kids he got.
But
Now,
doesn't
well,
he
we
stay with
already
Miss
know he ain't
Marlene?
got that.
Yeah, he only got
Exactly.
that all. So he had
Mm-mm.
to.
One
So those
second.
are,
Let me say this to the chat. In the chat, I understand that you guys are very concerned and worried about what could happen. Please keep keywords out of the chat like popo, unaliving children, and all of that.
what?
Please do not put that. They're just saying that they've seen cases where it could turn out this way.
Not
Please
gonna
do
turn
not.
out.
I'm saying popo, but I see the full words. I would have to delete those comments. So if you guys can, we've seen cases where only thing you got to do is turn on your news and you see how things go terribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as on YouTube and keywords that they pick up on when they scan these live videos and scan the chat, that's something that can get the page flagged. So
Mm-hmm.
I am going
Mm-hmm.
to
And
delete.
also for the at the parade, who was the lady in the car It in the looked back like seat? Destiny. Huh?
Was
Who?
that
Looked
his
like
girlfriend?
it looked
Destiny.
like Destiny. No, no. She was a little bigger. No, it was in the car.
It
Yeah,
was
Older
a linebacker.
It's probably his manager.
yeah,
well,
look,
then the
that's
sad
why
thing about it,
manager
well,
because
she should be in the car. Then should be the 2 girls in the back seat with the rest of the 4 kids. So
yeah.
she shouldn't even be in the car. I wonder like why she's in the car
That's
for.
what I
She shouldn't be
said.
at all in the car in the truck. The 2 girls should be in the back seat with the rest of the 4 kids.
Hmm.
And the
Miss
manager
J-
doesn't
She
even.
took both of the places of the seats. That's why she should have
The
been in
girls
the
should be up in the front. They have dresses on. They
Miss
should be up
J
in the
said
front.
that was big. Miss J said that was Big Bertha, the neighborhood babysitter.
Child, like I said, he like it like that, Marisa.
Well, you know what?
Not the
If that was
Joker
his
laugh.
manager, if that was his manager in the car with him, she have her priorities all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
She won't be
Either you're
seen.
gonna, yeah, either you're gonna manage him and be in the background,
Yeah,
or are y'all gonna be in this thing together?
yeah,
So the manager wasn't thinking about the kids because
yeah.
if I had to bring my kids along, my kids were going to be very comfortable in an
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable situation because
Yeah.
they could have, you could have said, well, Mel, I got this parade and it's kind of cool and it's, they're going to be walking, either buy the kids some sneakers, some glitter sneakers or whatever, and let them go ahead and walk or do whatever. They didn't plan this. They didn't plan for this. You want to lead this parade? You want to be the grand marshal? Yeah, okay, and just come.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Because
come.
the oldest daughter wasn't happy at all in the truck and walking outside the truck. You could tell she wasn't happy to be there.
Yeah,
So
I
did
think
Martell?
that the kids look nice. They looked
Yeah, they
overjoyed,
look nice though. I mean, they're all dressed in the same colors and everything.
and
But we can see in her face though. The oldest one, you could tell in her face she wasn't too happy to be there.
And them two
But
old and them two oldest
She
ones.
probably smelled his breath, and she was completely destroyed with what his mouth smelled like.
Anonymous.
Or his skunk
Right,
loaf.
but somebody in the
boys in
comments
brown
said,
loafers. Did you guys notice that? He even have the boys in brown loafers,
Oh
like they're
God.
Child, they
"What?"
I didn't see that.
Child, please. They're having an Easter parade here where I live at, right? And so they was asking all the churches, to put a float in. So our church is putting a float in. So Miss Rita, you gonna be in the Easter parade? Hell to the no, 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 because I don't want to walk and I ain't gonna walk, and I don't want to be sitting on the back of no float. So the best thing for Miss Marita to do is stay home. And that's what he could have done for those. I just don't feel like those kids should have been there at that parade. It could have been an educational thing if he knew how to educate his kids about what this means. But it wasn't an educational moment for him. It was a look at me, see.
yeah,
And
especially with them
yes,
cops
it was a
running all
picture moment.
around everywhere.
exactly. And I really wonder what was the conversation. How did the conversation go to even invite this nut to be a grand marshal?
The grand dummy. The
and
grand dummy.
I agree with you only with the part of with him not relaying the proper message to the kids, but otherwise, I think that it's great. It would have been great for the average parent. Let me put it that way, to have their kids to partake in something of that magnitude, especially what we know of as far as the history and all of that. But like,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But that's exactly what I'm saying.
yeah,
Before the parade, sit down and talk to your kids. This is why I'm doing this, because at a time in our life we couldn't do this, and
mm,
this is what this mean, and so on. It could have been a very good educational moment. But
yeah.
how can you educate when you don't know yourself?
But
Hmm.
let's give the guy credit. At least the
Well, you
kids
give
were
it to
cute
him.
Me,
in
you
their
exactly.
outfit.
Exactly.
He had a brown suit to match his brown loafers.
Mm.
He needs to get some tartar control crest to work on those teeth. I'll
I'm
give him
sorry,
that.
y'all. So I have a
You
question.
mean skunk
Is
loafers.
did Martell delete his Instagram or am I personally blocked?
You might be blocked,
Person might be
sis.
blocked.
He know you a millimeter. That's what it is, boo boo.
You, sis, I believe you block. You just block. It's still there, girl. You block.
You
Don't take
gotta
it
be a
personal
peasant
though.
to be
Girl,
with
I
him,
could have
honey. You're not a
sworn
Just
he
like
peasant.
blocked
Or
Ariana.
do a
me
Block.
for like
colonoscopy. You need to
3
do a
weeks.
colonoscopy to get with him.
Oh yeah, no, his Instagram page is still up and running. What you
Yeah.
just say
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
got up in
god.
his comments, Cameron?
Yeah, what you said.
I absolutely I have been in the comments.
Oh
yeah.
Ah,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, sis. You block, honey.
No,
Don't
block.
don't.
I think what it is I don't even know. I can't even comment on his Instagram, but Tisha, I've commented on her Instagram plenty of times. So I don't know.
What
Yeah,
stupid is and
you
stupid does
gotta
with
be a
her.
peasant with an ant body to be able to be on his
not
Instagram
an
post.
ant body, not an ant body.
Or you got to be up there in the comments telling him,
How
"Oh,
fine he
you can
is.
say whatever
Or a
you want
Hmm.
defensive
about him,
lineman.
but he a good daddy."
Yeah,
Like,
and how
girl,
fine
shut
he
up.
is. You gotta
And
tell
with
him that.
Tisha, you probably wrote something that went over her head, and she's still trying to read it and
Oh,
understand
girl.
it.
Well,
So,
actually, girl, she responded and everything, and
Oh
then blocked
wow.
me, blocked my comment, like deleted my comment.
mm, mm.
Did you
See,
talk about her with the puppets? Is that what it was?
Yeah, no. What I asked her was, I was like, so when so hold on, I'm about to actually pull it up because I screenshot it before she deleted it, and I was asking her about the midday work surprise.
Oh well, yeah, you blocked.
yeah, you block, sis.
You
Girl,
you you know you about to have a ban or two like anonymous up here allegedly.
I'ma
What?
tell you like I tell my daughter when she go to work. She a nurse and she be how she be talking to them patients sometimes. Stay in your lane and leave them people alone. Stay out of people business. Leave them
Child,
people alone.
we are defending Vanessa. We defending millimeters. We defending the M&M kids. Defending anybody that wants to not have a colonoscopy for sex. That's what we're offending people.
Just, like coleslaw do. Sis, you block. You block too. Yeah, I don't like what you said. You block. You got a ponytail. You block. Yeah,
Coleslaw
you
blocked me
block.
like Coleslaw blocked me a long time ago. But
So
the only
speaking
question
of,
I asked Coleslaw, I was like, "Did you or did you not sleep with that lady husband?" And she just blocked me.
she did, she got a baby. You know she did.
She didn't
Okay,
start
listen. Can
screaming, wife. She didn't start screaming then, like she did in her infamous breakdown this past summer
Oh,
when
you
she
mean
was
wife?
Right.
Wife?
And
wife.
it's
No, you know what? Something is going on with her, and she's not really ready to reveal what's going on with her right now. So
She's pregnant.
she's being kind of quiet.
Oh,
She's
I
being
found the comment. It says the girl that sent your husband a naked photo where he responded midday's work surprise. Did she ever get hired? Because he did interview her. He also laughed in your face about it. Can we get some context? I'm confused.
Oh, good point.
girl. Girl,
Yeah.
and did you honestly think that woman was not going to block you?
No, she didn't block me. Martell did. That's what I'm like.
Oh,
I
that
don't
was
even know.
on Martell's page.
Right.
Oh, Tisha didn't block me.
No. I commented on Tisha page. So what
She
I'm
just
saying
removed
is if Tisha didn't block me, why would Martell block me? And I've never even commented on his page.
Cause she's still trying to figure out. You know how some things just go over people's head, and they be trying to figure it out. Even though she was a grand marshal at that parade, she's still trying to figure out that one question what you asked her.
but she didn't
So
get
she
she
don't
didn't get
get it. She
blocked.
didn't get it.
But you said you didn't even say anything to Martell in your blog, or did you
Yes,
say?
I've never ever said anything to Martell ever.
Oh,
He
you
must
said
know that you're
something.
coming over here. That's what it is. Telepathy.
You said something. One of his minions done been on somebody's page and heard you say something.
or I just,
Mm,
I
Okay,
like
y'all,
all the comments
let
I
me
agree
ask
with.
this question. Let me ask this question. Y'all don't have to discuss it now, but maybe later on. Did y'all see the flyer with Maurice and Kimmy and Tisha them talking about the comeback group? They left the E off.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Now,
I saw that too.
but on Kimmy's page, it says COMEBACK. So I wondered, did she get the memo or did they misspell comeback on their flyer? It's
They
crazy.
did. They
And,
did that on purpose
and
And
also,
because
I
if
wouldn't
you
even take them because they can't spell. What are you doing?
no, let me say
Really?
this also. They should not even be dealing with the combat group because that is something I think Melody and Martell they started the initiative with the Scots, but I thought that they were going to dissolve that entire the entire I guess it was a nonprofit organization. That's just my opinion. I don't know for sure, but I don't understand why they just couldn't come up with a new name and leave because they really want to attract people thinking that Melody has something to do with this comeback group. They should just leave that all alone. But I think Anonymous, you're right, is nobody but you didn't say this, but Maurice is the head leader ringer of a lot of this stuff that they would not let go. Because they could just
Yeah,
leave that whole thing alone and come up with a whole new name.
I agree. Look how happy he was at the reunion when all of the mess was going on. He was the main one laughing at the lamest jokes. He's an instigator for sure.
but you see how Melody shut him down just like she shut his brother down. And as far as the combat group is concerned, using that name, there's a clause in their bylaws that they cannot use that name for in if the group was dissolved and wanted to come back, they would have to use a different name. So they just playing. How do they say? Just playing with words or
Yeah,
playing
playing
with
word games.
letters. Yeah, playing word games. They know they cannot use that name. Because, see, the combat group consists of Mel, Martell, Kimmy, Maurice, Marceau, Tisha. And see, now they got two new players in the game now, Stormy and whatever her husband name is. I don't know what his name
Courtney.
is.
Courtney.
Courtney.
And it's supposed to be Destiny that she claiming.
So
Destiny, she can't. She gonna try to do something and she's squatting. Is that what you're
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah, they said she was added to the group.
Child, I look.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry, but can we
oh,
just talk about
one second.
Stormy
Give me
really
one
quick?
second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. So I just brought this up on Marcel's page. And if you look, Mr. Carlos King is in the comments saying back to business. So Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the tags, give me 1 second, you'll see they tag everybody that's involved. Destiny, Jalen, everybody else. And on Kimmy's
Destiny,
page, give me 1 second. On Kimmy's page, it's the same exact post. So she does not have an E. And they're just trying to, I guess, find a workaround or
No,
whatever.
I'm
But we know she can care less. She refuses to do business with
shit,
them.
chat.
Right.
I'm
Correct.
talking about in her comments. Read her comments.
Oh, on
Kimmy, yeah,
Instagram?
right
Okay.
on her page. Yeah, it says come back.
Okay. Let me bring her up. 1 second. 1 second. All right. And
Oh,
is it
what
still
better
showing this?
day for a comeback group?
All right. So
Can we
here.
spell comeback correctly before we try to make it look like this is a sex party?
Right.
Well,
We
they're
did.
doing a play on words.
The
But
comeback group.
so
Not
I do
come.
see what better day for a comeback group initiative. So I do see it, Hannah, where she has it spelled correctly. Now, did Marceau have anything like a caption or anything in his post where he spelled it correctly? But I think that's just a way for them to get around whatever. But we know Martell doesn't have the money to get back in business, and Mel could care less. So it's like, whatever.
and
Actually, that's
and
false
we know
advertising.
and we know that and we know Destiny ain't got no money. And I am really surprised of Kimmy. Jalen is an adult and he went to college. I don't think he majored in business
So the
because
only reason I brought it up is because I know that Melody, at when they were talking about it on the show, she did not want her name attached to it. And I
Well,
know
it's
her
not.
name is not. I know that, but you could just say that they could have totally came up with something else. They're
Oh,
doing this for a reason, and I
to be
think it's
fair,
because they're trying to get people to think. People that don't know that Melody's not attached. They may try to bring in. I mean, it's something to it. I don't know what it is, and that's just my opinion. They could have come up with something totally different. They're doing it to get back at Melody, or I think it's just another dig at her. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong though.
I think anybody that watches the show would know
would
Melody would
know.
never be associated with him
Absolutely.
for real.
Absolutely.
yeah, and I
And
think
Those that don't watch the show may not.
the people who need to
But the
know.
people that don't watch the show would they even know what the comeback group is?
right, they wouldn't.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
yeah, Mel, my only, this is only my opinion. She could care less. With
Mhm.
them doing this, that's for me still shows that they are thinking about, I'll say Mel and Martell. And it's petty. I'm sure it was a concept that they all sat down and came up with together. That's why Carlos is in the comments saying back to business. And it is what it is. More power to him. But Mel is on to bigger, better things. She's still in real estate. She still just got ready to apply for a business license, builder's license, and all of that. So, at this point, it's like, who cares? It's not going to hurt her. Just my opinion. But I give.
But with Carlos, this is my thing with Carlos. You could be all in their comments. Mel just launched a new business. Not one time did I see a post, congratulations, Sugar Mama, congratulations, Mel. Not one time did I see Carlos, but now he want to take his tiptoeing through the tulip behind under that page for a group that ain't coming back.
Right.
I don't
They
think
never
Carlos
coming
really
back.
likes Mel because the what he did to her at the reunion, trying to act like he didn't know that lady was reaching out to them, trying to throw her under the bus. I don't really think he even likes Mel.
Yeah, I
I,
agree. Real
it
quick,
was
guys,
the
let me say
last
hi to
reunion.
Aunt Ann. Aunt Ann, I am so sorry. I hope you're still here. Black
Aunt
Titan.
Ann, we love you. Your prayer was great today. You are moving on up. Just want to let you know.
Black Titanic, thank you as well. Any other content creators in the chat, thank you for joining me. And guys, please hit the like button. And I'm sorry, who was that? Maritha or Cameron?
I think that
It
was
was
simply beautiful.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Mm.
simply
no.
beautiful.
What I was going to say is it was last reunion when I realized Carlos don't mess with Mel. The whole line of questioning, talking about would you have married the peasant or
Mm,
Mel, whether you met either one of them first or something like that,
Yes, very
or
insensitive.
See, at first I was trying to be objective and say, okay, well, he's just being a host. Don't want to,
mm,
don't want to play sides. But this reunion, I'm like, now you know that lady had that lady on the phone. You know you was on the phone too. She not just gonna say that. And he sat up
yeah,
there
I
like,
agree.
no.
That's why
yeah.
he
Yeah,
moved
she
that
definitely
conversation
just come out
along.
and said, well, you would know you were on the phone. I think Mel Peep gained from last reunion.
Yep.
Carlos did as well, especially the backlash that he received from saying she wasn't enough. So it was a lot of pandering, if you ask me, this reunion. Oh, Martell, I
Yeah.
think you're still in love with Mel. It's like, man, make up your mind. Last year, Coleslaw was the whole
The whole
restaurant. Then you're backstage on the phone with Sheree. Now you on stage with Mel. I mean, what is it? You know what I mean? So he's phony, if you ask
they
But
were
you know
planning
what,
according to plan.
I don't think Carlos even care about this show because if he promoted this show, much as he be in Real Housewife of Potomac business, the
Exactly.
Atlanta Housewife business, as
me.
much as he be in Bravo's business, I
Yeah,
can't tell. Are
he
you for? Are
bro.
you a own
Mind you, this
network?
isn't his show. It's really Mel's show, honestly. So he might not really like the show. He probably didn't think it'd get where it is now. And so now he just going along with it because he get paid.
Yeah. Well, he's the creator. He makes sure to let people know. And I think he does want it to be successful because of that. Because that title is there. He's the creator,
Right.
but he shows where his loyalty lies, if you ask me. And it just proves
Amen.
that he had to have been let go, instead of what he's been saying, that he voluntarily left Bravo. I don't see anybody voluntarily leaving Bravo, and his loyalty is there. You can see the difference of excitement and everything every week, 2, 3 times a week when he's talking to somebody on a Bravo show. So it's weird. But real
It
quick,
is.
dear Harmon, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, Simply. Go ahead.
No, that was all I was going to say. That last reunion is what made me realize Carlos don't like Mel.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was
Yeah.
going to say.
But you know what? We always talk about these people, how they feel about Mel. I honestly believe Mel is in a place right now that Mel,
She don't care.
she don't. You know
Yeah.
what? I listened to a person who did a study on eagles once. Mel is an eagle. She's flying so high above the drama, and they can't get up there where Mel is because the air is too thin for them. So they have to stay down where they are, and they have to do what it is that they're doing. Nothing that they do is ever going to prosper, and it could look good in the beginning, but it's going to fall apart because you have wronged this woman when this woman hasn't done anything to any of you.
Yeah.
Oh, she got a black heart. She got a black soul. But you're saying what you were doing, you were projecting. You were talking about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
were talking about yourself.
and also I like what I took from Real Housewives of Potomac when Giselle was basically like, she doesn't care what happens to Wendy because she doesn't like her. Like Like, wow, like you have
Yeah, that was
moral.
something.
Letitia and Destiny are just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't like this woman or because you don't care for her, you will allow people to down her children or to talk bad about her children just because of that. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
want to turn a blind eye simply because they don't like her. And I think that's why so
Yeah.
many people dislike them. Morally, y'all are trashy people.
Absolutely, Cameron. And that was very telling when Giselle said that. And I totally agree with you about Tisha, Destiny, now Stormy. But here's my thing, when you compare Wendy to a Giselle, Wendy outshines her in real life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
When you compare Mel to Tisha and Destiny combined, Mel outshines them in real life, but it's just that I don't want to say it's a high school mentality,
No, it is
It
high school for
is. It
sure. It is
is.
so high
Sis,
school.
that's exactly what it is. It's
It
like,
Because
is.
as a
It definitely
woman,
is.
when you
you,
have children, you're supposed to be able to say, damn, like, what if that was me and my children? Like, as a woman,
Mhm.
if you can put yourself in a woman's shoes, like, I would never want a woman to go through what Destiny is going through with LaBerry.
yeah,
However, she's a shitty person, and I would never do to people what she do to people. So I
yeah.
don't expect that type of karma to come to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how most people feel when it comes to Destiny because, who wants to see, and Kimbella, I'm sorry if I missed your super chat. Thank you so much. Who wants to see a woman put out and all of that? But it is not LeBeric's responsibility to take care of Destiny her whole life. But let me acknowledge and read these comments, guys, real quick. Aunt Ann, hey. My opinion, oh Lord. Martell doodle brown suit. The kids look amazing, but they was overdressed. Martell, didn't you know? No good. Fix it, baby Jesus, right now, not tomorrow. But hey, okay, wait a minute. Fix it, baby. Maritha, I'm sorry, that may be you. Fix it, baby Jesus, right now, not tomorrow, but right now. Thank you, Anne.
Let's say it like she do. Don't you know no good? Don't you know no good? I love
Right.
you,
And
Aunt. Don't you know
look,
no
guys,
good?
I got one more super chat down here somewhere. Give me one quick second and we will get back to the discussion. I missed a lot of. Oh, good night, Kimbella. Gotta hit the JOB in the AM. Be blessed, everyone. Good night. Good night. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for becoming a member. And thank you for representing the Sippy, my daddy's home town, state. But I'm sorry, guys. Who did I cut off? Was it Cameron? Oh no, Red Ann is back. Red Ann.
Yeah, I just wanted to make one more comment with the young lady that stated that her and her siblings and they were talking about the child support.
Mhm.
Um I think what Martell is trying to do is right now, because they've already agreed that it's 50-50 and no one has to pay the other child support.
Mhm.
If he wins custody of the children, then that will then give him grounds to go back and ask Mel for child support.
Mm, 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 mm. Hold
So
up.
Mm-hmm.
Slow
It's
down.
that
not gonna happen,
property,
honey. I'm
right?
sorry.
But he's not gonna get custody of the kids.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the courts are just gonna keep it at the
They
50-50.
just gonna take
Um,
his money. As
Right.
long as he wants to keep coming in there spending the money, because that's
exactly.
what
Well,
it's for.
I'll tell you this, guys. You guys need to, if you can, look up what narcissists do in child custody and divorce cases.
Mm,
They don't care about
money.
um, court rules or anything. It's a way to still have control over the person that left them.
That's true.
That's all it is. It's a game to them. This is a game. It's like a gladiator game.
Exactly.
That's
Well,
all.
I will tell you, if the courts really want to look at, and they could possibly, like Melody's attorney, they can subpoena some of the film footage
Mhm.
from the show.
Of
I
And
course.
would.
Of
that
course.
episode where they were in the park with the children because Melody's had them in therapy, which
Yeah.
is phenomenal. That is the best thing that she absolutely could have done for the kids, is put them in therapy. But when those kids were sitting in that park and talking, that was genuine, raw
Yes, it was.
emotion for those kids. And my heart was absolutely breaking
Me too.
And
Especially
listening
notice
to
the
those.
oldest one was still kind of quiet in that
she
conversation.
was. But
But
Yeah,
she knows
to
a
see
lot. That
to
she
baby
see
is
the
does.
hurt.
to see the hope that Tank had,
Yeah.
like, well, maybe
Well,
mommy
Well,
could.
Tank was propped by Hotel. That's
Yeah. And see,
and
I was getting
for
ready, to say that.
Guys, wait,
Um,
Red Ann was still going, Marita. I'm sorry.
okay.
Go
no,
ahead.
and I'm
Okay.
just saying, and when Boss Baby made the comment that she saw her dad and the other woman, that was big. That was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, those kind of things the kids are going to remember, because I remember having a conversation with my two older children, and some of the things that you think you're protecting them from, you're really not.
Yeah.
You're really not, until you actually sit down with them and start talking to them. And that's when you realize, okay, I've failed my children in this way here. So she's doing a wonderful job at those children being in counseling,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want those kids to think that what they see is normal, and
Yeah.
that's how they should be treated, that's how their mom should be treated, that type of thing. That is totally unacceptable. And she's doing the right thing with those kids, with getting them in counseling.
Yeah. And what's admirable about that is she wasn't forced to do this. This was
She
before
wasn't.
any court
Exactly.
filings or anything like this. That's a mom who recognized that her kids needed that. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Well,
Anybody.
it's the only way, Chit Chat, just to let you know, that's really the only way can combat this type of narcissistic abuse.
I'm talking outside of Martell. I'm just
No, I
talking.
know. I'm just saying it's the only way that you can help the child or adult
I
understand that what's happening.
I get that, but I think even in cases where the other mate wasn't a narcissist, when you go through a divorce and it could have
Mm-hmm.
been, peaceful and all of that, your kids will still need some form of therapy because
Correct.
it's a big adjustment. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're saying anonymous.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for him, I think that's what a lot of people think, at least, in the church community and other places, that you don't need therapy. But I think they just don't understand that Hotel and people like him use a team of people to make you think that irrational behavior is acceptable. So what you have to do is get a team of people who do not agree with that to kind of overcome it. That's what I was saying.
I agree with that, because when I was Melody's baby's age, her name's Mariah, right? I want to stop calling her
Mm-hmm.
Mel's baby.
Yeah, it's
Mariah.
Right. So
Mariah.
when I was Mariah's age, my dad made it a point to consistently speak ill of my mom, like so much so,
Mm.
but I never seen my dad, and my mom would never speak bad of him, even though I
Right.
knew he was a shitty person. And
Right.
so, like, if I didn't agree with my dad on what he had to say about my mother, he he was annoyed by me. He would get he didn't like that. He didn't like that I didn't see my mom the way that he saw her. So as a child, and this is why that therapy is so important, and this is why I speak from the M&M kids perspective, so y'all can kind of understand it. As a child, I just wanted my dad to just love me. Okay. So if it'll make you feel good, if, I, agree with you about my mom, then I will. So, he would say stuff like, oh, why won't your mom do this? Or why won't she just do that? Or why won't she do that? Or I'm paying child support. She need to do this. So he would set me up as a child to make me feel like I had the wherewithal to go to my damn mom as a
Understand.
child and
Yeah.
ask her why isn't, why can't
Manipulation.
she take my daddy off child support? Or why won't she
Correct.
let him, come around and do this? Whole time not realizing how that could break my mother's spirit,
Exactly.
and
Mhm.
also
Exactly.
And
assisting,
Cameron,
helping my narcissistic father
right.
belittle her.
And let me read this, Cameron. Anonymous, you brought this up earlier, which I was familiar with the term and the meaning and all of that. But Cameron, what you experienced was this parental alienation. It is a
Mhm.
strategy, and I'm sorry, this thing just clicked me off. It's a strategy whereby one parent intentionally displays to the child unjustified negativity aimed at the other parent. And it's so very common, especially when, because Martell, let's not get it twisted, he's scorned. He's scorned
Hmm.
because
Right.
he didn't think Martell was going to leave him. He's going through this custody thing because he's hurt. He want to hurt her, and anything that we've seen cases with him videotaping the kids, asking them questions, and doing this and
Hmm.
that.
I was
And
just about to say,
right,
you can
your
hear it
mom,
in her voice then when he was
yeah,
asking her questions about her mom. I can tell she didn't
Correct.
say anything negative about her mom. And the only
right,
reason I can tell is because I was there. He made it seem like the information that she was sharing about her mother was a negative, right?
yeah,
So when she went to repeat it on camera, that's
mm-hmm,
what that confusion and the cracks in her voice is.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because she knows what she's doing
Manipulation,
is like gonna make her mom sad, but she also know if she don't do it, her dad is gonna be mad.
right.
And
Yeah,
that's why I say you.
it's manipulation, and
Yeah.
Can I say this? I just want to say this because something anonymous just said, and I'm just going to have to kind of disagree with it a little bit. Maybe it was like that for her, but from where I am at a spiritual point, my pastor always said your spirituality is important, but your mental well-being is important as well. So my pastor and the pastors that I talk to about some things, they are really into that seeking therapy,
Yeah.
because see, therapy opens up your mind to a different way of thinking, a different way of being. And when your mind is open and free to think different, and your spirituality um, and the therapy together, then that makes you a force to be reckoned with. And that's what we're seeing with Mel, her spirituality, and by sitting and talking to a
Mhm.
therapist, because I don't care how spiritual you are. Sometimes you want to just go there with a person, and if you don't have someone to reel you back in, you can either lose your mind or
Mm-hmm.
you can lose your life. Either you get
Yeah.
locked up in jail. So
Yeah.
that you got to have some a therapist. You got to have that spiritual, that therapy connection, and that spiritual connection. So when I hear you sometimes say, uh, maybe you not grouping all the churches in.
I'm not grouping all of them. I'm talking
Okay,
about those that are narcissists.
okay.
Your
Well, I
therapist
just
is not
needed,
your
I just
pastor
needed
is
to
not
get that
one like
straight.
that, and that's good.
Yeah, and see,
Okay,
because I
young lady.
said that because my pastor himself was in a bad accident, and he had to go to therapy because he was afraid to drive.
Mm.
He was afraid to drive because of an accident. But to hear him say, "I went to a therapist. I go to a therapist, and I needed help." When I heard him say, "I needed help," then I know, because I always thought people who went to therapy were crazy until I had to go to therapy myself.
right. And you know what it is, Maritha, and excellent points out of both of you. It's not just the church; it's just Black people in general. At one
Mhm.
point, frowned down upon therapy. And
Mhm.
the answer was the church. No, if you having problems, go kneel at the altar, give it to the Lord. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
this is something that's been new, and I'm glad that people are now more actively seeking therapy because it's
Mhm.
neat. For
Well,
it could be something small.
well, therapy ain't gonna help Martell. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Well, I
it
told you it
Nothing.
will.
was an exorcism, Cheryl.
But you know what?
Jay
You know
Michelle,
what? The only way therapy is going to help Martell is
Marita,
you gotta want to change.
let me welcome up Jay
Exactly.
Michelle. Give me 1 second, ladies. Jay Michelle, are you backstage?
Hey, ladies, how are you?
So I just wanted
Well,
to remove this banner. Okay, go ahead, Maritha, and
yeah,
then next up,
uh,
Jay Michelle.
You, with anything, you have got to have an open heart and open mind to be receptive to change. Martell is stuck. He's stuck in 2000 and whatever. Martell does not want to change
he's never gonna
because
change.
if he wants to change, he can look at the damage that not only he's doing to himself, to his children, his mom, his whole, this divorce affected his whole family,
Yes, yes.
But the
and
problem with
he don't want to change because
Yeah,
he
because
from
they
one
was on the
woman
other
to
side.
another woman,
but the
and he
problem
don't
with
care about nobody feelings,
but
nobody feelings.
the problem with
So he
Martell
don't
is
want to change.
he
He
look at the
got to burn out.
he, he look
I
at the
agree.
damage that he
Go ahead, Carolyn, and after you, I mean Cheryl, and after
yeah,
you,
the
Cheryl,
problem with
Jay
Martell
Michelle.
is he looks at the damage that he causes Melody as a victory. He doesn't look at it like, that's why they a lot of narcissists hack phones and hack social media accounts so they can look back at the damage they caused this person and hope and pray that they're miserable or crying or upset or depressed. His
Yeah,
whole goal is to tear her down and break her. That's his whole goal. So
and it's
nothing
not
can help him. Nothing.
right,
Nothing can
and
help a
it's
person
not
like him.
working. Thank goodness, it's not working.
Thank God.
That's right. And Jay Michelle, what's your thought on your thoughts? I'm sorry, on the topic.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
QT, I was catching up on because I got behind. I had to catch up on your videos today.
Oh, thank you.
Did
I
everything because I was like, let me catch up. I'm behind. I had a lot going on. I'm moving and stuff. It was just a lot.
oh,
But
thank you.
I when I saw your thing about Martell being the marshal, the grand marshal, I know about the Jubilee. Um, I went before in past times. Um, it's a couple of. That's not the only one that does. That's not the only organization that does something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to the civil rights, the crossing of Selma, the bridge, the march. Um, it was. I looked it up because you can go to their website and it'll show you the whole itinerary each day, what group, who's what, who's sponsoring everything, right? Because I
Mm-hmm.
watch the hip hop summit and comment on that all the time, listening for different point of views.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if he's the grand marshal, okay, he's going to be at the top where it says parade. He's not listed as grand marshal. His name is listed down where it says for Hip Hop Summit. And he's one of the people with Little Scrappy and these other people.
What?
Doing
Yep.
what?
That's what I heard too.
You
So
can
he
go right
lied
on
on
there
that
to the
too?
website.
And you know what?
It
I did
doesn't
do
have
a
it.
search
And
earlier.
that's why I asked. I was like, if he's Grand Marshal, it's not on their itinerary. They didn't announce him
Exactly.
as Grand Marshal.
Right.
Exactly.
Because when I did a search
They
earlier,
have him as one of the people. It's another group of people who are the sponsors for the Hip Hop Summit, and he's under that.
Exactly.
okay, because when I
Because
did a
it's a
Mm,
search earlier today, the only thing that it brought up was that President Biden basically released
I'll
this.
DM you. I'll DM you.
Yeah,
He was a
DM me because I couldn't find it. The other that had the itinerary, it had passed. So since it wouldn't bring up yesterday's event or anything
Yeah, the
like that.
itinerary you had to catch it before.
Right.
You did your thing like last week when he
Yeah.
first came out with it. And I heard it. I went immediately to the site because I've been there before,
hmm.
Okay. Okay.
and I went to the site and you can pull up the itinerary because I want to see who's going to be in the hip hop summit. Who's sponsoring what.
Yeah.
Because I don't support every group.
Up
I
for me
don't support the
today.
hip hop summit because there's some people they bring on and stuff that I don't think as per se matches the magnitude of that moment in that event. Like I don't
Hmm.
link hip hop to that. So
Yeah.
that's my personal thing. That's my opinion. It's not for anything else. That's not QT's opinion. That's mine. I don't equate that with the civil rights movement and
Mhm.
what Dr. Kingdom did. That's on a bigger spectrum to me and not to be belittled to that. That's a
So he
culture that just
so he
one part.
so
But
he wasn't
he's
honored
under
as he
like
wasn't
with Little
honored.
Scrappy and all those different people. So the
Okay.
people who organized that event, I looked at the names of them and stuff. I say it's probably a frat or a sorority, it's really easy. Sororities and fraternities and sororities, y'all know some of you are members. They support each other. It doesn't matter what the person has done. They are loyal. So if they want to help a brother or something, I'm not mad if he want to be an event of himself. I want him to better himself. I
Right.
want him to have better things. I understand the young lady earlier, and I could hear the pain still in her voice because my father passed in 2019, and we didn't get to have the conversation with him as his children about his actions until 2 years before he passed.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
actually sit down, I had so much, and it affected me all for decades of my life,
Mm.
especially for
Mm-hmm.
girls. And I
Wow.
don't think
Yeah, yes,
that
especially for girls.
he's not gonna understand, and neither will male them understand, or any of them get the implication of these children. Because right now they're not able to really tell their truth of how they really feel. They're telling
Hmm.
it to the therapist, but they're not telling it to their parent, where there could be physical repercussions with a
Because they're
spanking, or
yeah.
some kind of repercussion emotionally, mentally, or or a distancing or a desertion. um I went through that. I understand what that young lady was saying. It's not even about the side chick or anything. You have to really think about this. When my father cheated on my mom, I had to testify in court against my own father.
Hmm. Mm.
That changed our relationship. I was a daddy's
It's
girl.
the dynamic.
My
Yeah.
dad used to be at home with me.
He
So
blamed you,
my
didn't
dad
he?
was a good father as far as everybody knew, but his behavior as a husband does affect his fatherhood because it caused the family unit to become obsolete. And so that affected my life, it affected my stability and
Right.
my foundation, and also my now worldview of how things do and how I interact. It
Yeah.
Right.
affects me. And what's missing is it's not about Martell and Melody. These children will one day speak their own truth themselves. They will
Absolutely.
always love their parents, both of their parents. I want Martell to do better because the only way to see that someone has changed is to change behavior. So I'm watching him. I'm watching to see the change behavior, and it has to be over a period of time, time, not no little bit of time, not a season. And it's not determined by the offender when the time is okay. It's determined by the person that was offended.
Right.
Because you don't need to dictate to me how my process is when you inflict the pain on me. I have to
Mm-hmm.
protect myself.
Right.
So it's
See,
these children are now being forced to have a relationship. As children, it's confusing because my father brought in another child, same situation,
Mm.
and the person he cheated with, my brother, who I love, and we don't call him step brother, he's my brother.
mm-hmm.
And his mom was married at the time my dad was married, and they
Mm.
cheated. And he got her pregnant. My dad didn't go be with her. That it wasn't even about that. That's not even the important thing. The important thing that misses, here's two children. My brother felt left out because he wanted to be with us, and he would come over to my grandmother's house, and my grandmother differentiated the weekends because we would be with her on weekends because she was feeling my dad's face, much like Martell's mom does. And so it was confusing for him. Me and him we talk about it now. We're all having to go through therapy since our parents passed, to everybody to talk to each other to understand stuff. I'm way older than them. So Mariah perception of what's going on is gonna be way different than Malia's and
Yes.
Sugar Mama now,
Yes.
because they're not
Yes.
gonna have that perception. Mariah was the one crying and screaming at the person she's gonna look at. She tore our family apart. She's
But
gonna
they
remember that.
also not gonna remember. They're not gonna remember seeing their mom crying in the closet
No,
the way the
no.
oldest is gonna
But
remember it.
Tank and
They're not
Mariah
gonna
will, because
remember.
Tank talked about it. He said he wants to stop crying because he sees his mama crying.
He
Yeah.
did say
Because
that.
that's what a
Yeah.
boy does. A boy guards their mom. Taylor and
That's right.
Mariah are gonna have a
That's
different
right.
experience and worldview than Sugar Mama and Boss Baby, because Sugar
Right.
Mama and Boss Baby are too young and don't really understand. That's why Boss Baby is so loving towards the little boy. But like Mariah came by, and she would in the video, and when he would didn't want to hug her, she was like, okay, whatever. You see what I'm saying? And it's
Let me
because
speak on
it's
this.
like, okay,
Let me
you
speak.
know, it's not any hate towards him or anything, but it's like she's not gonna see him like she sees Sugar Mama and Boss Baby for a while, till her dad has to listen to her to heal this situation, because you're bringing in. I don't care what you say. Melanie is wasn't gonna bring that baby around herself because of how his mom interacts with her. It's all about what they did after the fact, after how the
Right.
divorce happened, after the divorce, all that plays key. Had he was not
Yeah,
ready to let go.
right.
That's
Give me
that's
one
the
second,
whole thing.
Michelle. And with Mel, in my opinion, it was before, during, and after the three.
Exactly.
But let me speak personally on what you're talking about. And we know that Marceau mentioned that to Martell when Martell had to bring Mariah back up to the office when she was crying. And he told her, look, this is something that you're going to go through forever. Now, when it comes to that, and I'm going to speak personally, my parents got divorced after 27 years. And the only reason why they got divorced is because my mom was going through menopause. She admitted it after the fact. My dad, great dad. All of us was raised, 7 kids in the house. She never
Incoming
had to make
call.
a
Incoming
bill.
call.
She
Incoming
never had to
call.
do anything. Marita, I need you to mute, sweetie. She never had to do anything. She worked, her money was to buy our school clothes. That's it. He was a city worker, excellent dad, never spent the night out or whatever. But when they divorced, the only thing they waited until I was old enough, and I was 16 at the time. And I remember speaking with the judge. They let me decide whoever house she want to go over. 16
Exactly.
car, whoever house she want to go over, whenever she want to go there, she can do it. So there was no 1 week at dad, 1 week at mom. Every holiday we still spent weeks at my either we celebrated at my dad's house or at my mom's house. They never remarried after that. So it was really basically the emotions and everything that she was going through. So not all cases even need this extensive therapy and all of that. It's about the adults, if they're going to be adults, if they're going to keep the children, their best interests at heart. And we know that Martell won't do that. And
Exactly.
because of that, these kids will be having these conversations like you are, like Cameron is, because of how they were mishandled by their dad with him being selfish. But there's a lot of amicable situations where there were no issues. Look, it just didn't work. We got these kids. Hey, like Martell said, he would like, but we understand why Mel won't do it. Hey, I got a gig. Can you come get her or whatever? Normally, with normal people that didn't have this downright dog fight of a breakup, that's no problem. And she said it herself. It wouldn't be a problem if he wouldn't try to use that against me.
Right.
So
He
it's
always trying to be
unfortunate.
like as if she neglecting the children because he ain't
Right,
got no money.
right.
That's what my daddy used to do, girl. That's
Yeah.
what my daddy used to do. He just swore my mom didn't like us. We were never like, oh, like why your mama never around? Like, bitch, she gotta work. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and
Oh,
language.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
With I would like to say something. Um, with you just speaking about your parents,
Mm-hmm.
sister. Um, the divorce that I went through here
Mm-hmm.
in Alabama, that was my second marriage.
Okay.
My first
I
marriage
still can't get
was
in.
just like
What happened to
what you said. My first husband and I, we got married young. We had 2 children, and we just, we really believe that we were young. We
Mm-hmm.
thought we knew what we were doing, and we realized that we didn't. He was a horrible husband,
Mm-hmm.
horrible husband. But I've always told him, and I will scream it to anybody that will hear it, fantastic father.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if I can clone him, I would clone him. He
Yeah.
was amazing. Never had to go to court for child support. Didn't have to put him on child support. It was communication. It was all about communication.
Yeah.
And when he remarried his wife, when I first met his wife, she had absolutely nothing but good things to say about me. And
Mm-hmm.
she got that information from him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I felt like, if you're going to be a part of our children's lives, I need to know who you are.
Yeah.
Never had any issues with this woman. Beautiful woman. They have a child. Their child called me auntie. My children from my second marriage called my first husband, now ex-husband, uncle, and
Wow.
his wife auntie. We all
That's beautiful.
had holidays together because we wanted to show our children, and also my two younger children, that just because the marriage didn't work,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that we still don't love you.
That's right.
We realize that their best interest and them seeing their parents in the best light was
Yeah.
the best thing. Even with
I
our
love that.
two
I
adult.
wish a
Oh
lot more
yeah.
parents were mature
Hmm.
in that way. And I feel
Right.
like my daddy, all was well, but when he got remarried, it's like his wife was jealous of the
That's what
relationship
it
that
is.
he had with us, because he
Yeah.
absolutely, even though he was a not so great person to my mom, and even though he did speak ill of my mom in front of us, he still took care of us. That thing, oh, you're a great
Hmm.
dad but bad husband, whatever.
Right.
But when she came about, slowly but surely, we became less and less and less of a factor in their life.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
then she wanted children. And at that point, I was like 22 years old. Like, what are you talking
Wow.
about?
Children.
And so it's like, you want kids, but you haven't fixed the relationship with your youngest two children. Like, you
Hmm.
haven't fixed that relationship yet, but you're trying to go off and make children with this woman.
Somebody else.
And I don't think that's a bad thing, but like, be mature about it. Like, fix the relationship you have with the kids already, because he didn't even want to have a relationship with the side baby. And so
Yeah.
Wow.
that was a huge issue, because I would communicate with that child because I was the oldest out of his children, but he didn't like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're building a relationship. What is it that y'all have to talk about? What do you mean? This is my
Your
sister.
siblings. Right.
And
Right.
I was a product
But I
of,
think it's because we were sharing information. I'm sorry. I just
yeah.
wanted to share this. What in term, as I became a woman, I'm 25 years old now. What I realized was my dad was a predator. He was a
Mm.
narcissistic predator. My
Mm-hmm.
mother, when he met my mother, she was a single mother. She had my oldest sister. And when he met the girl that he had the baby on my mom with, she was a single mother. She had one daughter. When he remarried his wife, she was a single woman, and she had a son. So, like, that's not a coincidence. I also think, like, a lot of these men with narcissistic personalities, they prey on women.
They
Oh,
do.
we're on. Mhm.
That's absolutely fact.
They
Um,
prey on everybody.
right. Marita, is this you?
Yeah, yeah.
That-
I am so sorry you ladies had to go through that, really.
Give me 1 second before this leave my train of thought. And it just left. Oh my goodness. What was I about to say? Oh my goodness. And it was in response to Red and Cameron. Oh no. My sister is also a Love and Marriage Huntsville fan. And like I said, come from a pretty big family. And we speak about this often. When our parents went through their divorce, we didn't know of co-parenting. It wasn't a term then. And
Mhm.
all we knew is there was not a bump in the road. The only thing it seemed like was our parents was in different households, you know. They didn't have any relations anymore, but so they successfully co-parented before we even knew what that was, you know.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
unfortunate that everyone, because everybody is just not going to work out. Everybody is not meant to
Exactly.
be, whether you get married
Mm.
or whatever.
That's true.
And it would be ideal if everyone could have a successful relationship. But unfortunately, we
Hmm.
know that that's
Exactly.
not the case. And it's, somebody said on the panel, I think it was Red and to Cameron, Cameron, I can hear it in your voice as well. And, it kind of makes me a little emotional because these adults don't know the effect that they're having on their
Mhm.
children.
Absolutely.
Just
Correct.
like
Yep.
Jay
Yep.
Michelle, same with you. You know what I'm saying? And this is lifelong. It carries over into relationships and everything else. And it's sad.
That's true. And I want to
That
add
is,
as
that is
Miss,
well.
so.
Right. I want to add as
yes,
well.
Miss
I
Beauty. Oh, that's okay.
Go ahead.
One at a time. Who's talking?
I
Okay.
just
I was
wanted
going
to
to.
say one more. Go
Oh,
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna finish my thought before we had finished last time. What I was trying to say was, but the young lady said it like me and my brother and my other sister, because I'm 10 years, 7 years, 12 years, and 16 years older than my siblings. I'm the oldest. My experiences are totally different than theirs. It's stuff they don't even know.
mm-hmm.
But we all are just sisters and brothers. We don't do step nothing. Like she was saying about auntie, uncle, this. My dad married again later. My mom and dad eventually he was better with healing what with my mom than he was with us. Like he wasn't he eventually told me why. He felt that he had some stuff of his own. What helped me to heal is to realize that also with parents are people and they have trauma and they have sometimes unresolved trauma. Martell has unresolved trauma from his father, and thus
Mhm.
it can lead him to either copy him, and if he doesn't get that man, that father image to guide him, then he's most likely going to copy it. And I kind of see him copying it. He did not want to have multiple children by multiple women. He said that, but that's where he is right now. And
Yeah,
so his thing is he doesn't know how to even deal with this because like he said, nobody taught me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody, and I'm not taking up for him. I'm just being honest. My dad said the same thing to me. We had a heart to heart. I say I needed you, and I still do as a father. I'm gonna need you to your tune.
And the only
You're
reason I
my
don't like him.
you're my father. It's certain things that I can only get from you about myself. It's certain histories that I can only get from you. And I needed you to be there, and you ghosted us, and stuff happened to us, and because we weren't covered and we didn't know how to maneuver, things happen. He apologized in the last 2 years before he passed. We all were so close to our dad. We took care of him because he lost both his legs to diabetes,
I
and we took care
understand
of him.
that, but sometimes
He
I
got
feel like
vulnerable with
we
us,
don't
but
give.
it
one at a
took him.
time. One at a time.
Let me just finish. It took him a while to get vulnerable. It took his whole life. My father was 70. He wasn't taught to be vulnerable. He became vulnerable with us at age 67.
Mm-hmm.
And I never saw my father cry or even get emotional or say I love you to us. And he told each of us we had those last years, and it healed a lot of us with a lot of stuff because we had to sit down and have these conversations. Like the young lady was saying, it's about communication. It really is. You got to sit down and ask the questions, and the kids got to have a safe place to be able to ask that question.
Hmm.
That's true.
That's safe space. That's the
And
important
real
part.
quickly, Glenda, go ahead with your point.
Okay. What I wanted to say
Go ahead,
is,
Glenda.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. What I wanted to say is, I'm also, my ex husband was a narcissist as well. Typical Martell. My girls, our children were 7 years apart. And there are things that my oldest daughter witnessed that my youngest daughter did not witness. And my oldest daughter today she'll be 36 this year. But he also would share with my daughters how I wasn't a good mom and would say negative things to the kids in regarding to me and would make them feel a certain way. And we were in and out of the courts as well. The only thing that stopped him from constantly running back and forth to court is when the attorney finally told him that being that our oldest daughter was turning 14, she could actually get put on the stand, and
Mm-hmm.
they told him that the next step was to put her on the stand and she could say who she wanted to stay with and who she didn't want to stay with. It was at that point because he knew she knew a lot of what he was saying to her and that it would come out in court. So at that point he stopped. He would constantly they constantly manipulate the children and say that your mom don't love us, your mom left us, not your mom left me.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yep.
left us. And it starts to make the kids feel like they're torn between both parents because the kids genuinely do love both parents. But what was happening with my girls, even before they got of age, they would cry because they did not want to go with him. But because we had the 7 on 7 off schedule, I had to tell them to go. And as a mother, it tore me apart because I didn't want to send my kids because they did not want to go. But the kids cry, and I can definitely think that Mel as well goes through that same situation. I believe that those older two children stresses to her how they don't want to go with their dad when it's their time to go with their dad, because we think just because kids are young they don't understand, but they see and understand more than adults think they do. They can feel the friction between the parents, and it's so unfortunate that as women we have to be the one to combat their feelings when they come back home to us. It's like we have to reprogram them and to reiterate in between to them that it's not you. You guys didn't do anything wrong. We're two adults trying to figure this thing out. But then when it's their 7 days with him and he's constantly asking them questions, and the kids will come home and say, "Well, Dad asked us this, and he asked us who comes over when we're at home, and he asked us if you leave us home by ourselves." Like, and I can really believe that Martell does the same thing. He drills those kids when he gets those kids and asks them questions. And still to this day, my oldest daughter still feels the remnants from that. They do not have a good relationship with their father as well, because when they got of age, they was like, "I'm not going. I don't
Yeah.
want to go." And they cut off communication when it got to the point to where they had their own phones. And even him, I couldn't call my kids and check on my kids when he had them because he would take their phones. He would block my number so I couldn't call them. And then he would tell them, "Your mom didn't try to call you. Your mom don't care about you."
Wow.
And, which I was calling, but he had blocked the number so I couldn't call during the time that he had them. But I never did that to them. Not one day that the kids hear me say anything bad about him. I would just have to get in my secret closet and I would just cry without them seeing me because I knew the adult stuff that was going on. But it's
Yeah.
always the woman that has to try to pick up the pieces
Mm-hmm.
and clean up everything behind the damage that these men are doing to these kids because
Mm-hmm.
they don't understand just how damaging their behavior is.
Right. And
Absolutely.
it's also the one
That is so true.
brave
That is.
front, like, I got it, everything, everything is okay. For me personally, I think that week on, week off is too soon of an exchange, for that very reason.
Hmm.
You have the kids for 7 days and you're trying to let them uh decompress, if you want to say that, as far as what they've been told and questioning about at the other parent's house, and then as soon as you're getting there, it's time to go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I
That's
wish,
very true.
yeah, I wish they
And
Yeah.
you
well.
have to be a very strong-willed woman to deal with the narcissist.
No, for
You
sure.
really have to be a strong-minded individual.
Been
When
there.
it comes to your
Yes.
children, you will have the strength.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me.
Absolutely.
But see, I think with that, you have to put you out of the way. My daughter always say, when you have a child, it's not about you anymore. It's
Right.
not a me situation anymore. It's about those kids. So whatever is going to make them happy, whatever is going to make them comfortable, you just do the best you can, in your ability to do that. And both of the stories that I just, heard from both of those ladies, I never, it's like, I feel so sorry for moms, because it's like the mama always got to be the one to take the blunt of everything. Got to make sure my baby's all right. This ninja could say what he want to say about me, and as mothers, we do have to go in our prayer closet, wherever your prayer closet is, and just have a mental breakdown, and then come back out and go. So you
Mhm.
can't break down.
Yep.
You can't break down because you got these kids. They looking at you, and just like everybody done said, I done said it. The two oldest children, they done seen some things. They done
Mhm.
seen some things. They done heard some things, and in their little mind, it's like if I tell mom this, then dad gonna get mad. It's like, and he put those kids in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
What his children are, if those kids are going through anything right now, if they're questioning anything about themselves, was I the cause of this? Was this, that, or whatever? It's because of him. Mel asked him, before you tell the kids, let me sit down. Let's sit down together with the kids. What did he do? He went to pick them kids up from school allegedly with that baby in the car. And then whoop, you got a brother.
Mm.
Now,
Yep.
mom got to explain it. He explained it, but we know his explanation is just like um, sugar mama and another little baby sitting down holding the conversation together.
Mm-hmm.
But then now Mel got to go and clean this mess up. And never, and he done said all kind of nasty things about their mom and this, that, and the other. She has not said one mumbling word. Well, and I've seen in families where the mama don't say nothing about the daddy, nothing. But the daddy just rake the woman all over the coal, call her everything but except a child of God. And and you saying this, you telling your kids your mama don't want you because if she wanted you, she'll be here. Why would my mama want to be in a situation where you beat her down physically and mentally? And then, and the mama's always got to be the one. It's like we
Mhm.
always got to be the
Got to
bigger
be the bigger
person.
person.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Maritha? And I'm sorry, in response to Glenda, I was happy to hear you say that. Not happy. I definitely don't want to
Mhm.
say happy, but when you said that your daughter got up to age and she was able to make her own decision regarding her dad,
Mhm.
that's what we've been saying, how it's going to go, especially with those older two, and especially with the oldest daughter. You know what I mean? Because as they
Mhm.
age and they come into womanhood and all of that, they're going to understand exactly what their mom went through.
Absolutely.
Couple that with social media and access to things that, I mean, they have a history out of this world as far as what
Mhm.
really went on in that. And Martell, with him thinking he's a drill sergeant and thinking he has everything under control, he will not be able to do anything. You know what I mean? And I don't want them to resent him, but he's not taking the proper channels to correct his own actions. So that's just going to carry on and carry on. And he's not going to have the outcome that he thinks he's going to have when those kids get up to age.
Yeah, and that brings up one of the comments that someone made in the chat that male is not innocent. It's not to, a matter of being innocent or not. It's a matter of being, to me, what Martell showed mostly is disrespect for his wife, his family, and for and just for women, period.
His
He's very,
behavior.
very disrespectful. He could have handled this whole thing totally different, and he chose not to. And this is why, for me, I don't have any problems continuing to call him out when he does something that I disagree with. I have my opinion, and most of the things that he has done, I totally disagree with him, and he needs to be called out on it because those kids did not deserve what he did to them.
Yeah.
And Melody tried to work with him after, before, after, and during that divorce, and he refused to work with her, but he always blamed her for everything. And for that, he deserves no, in my opinion, no respect. Until he
I
get it,
agree, Hannah.
Yeah.
forget him.
We're with you. Let me add Hershey 85. Are you there? Hershey 85. Are you there? Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Let me remove them. Hannah, no, I think that there are the majority that feel exactly the way that you do, and will continue to feel that way if you ask me. Like I said, if we can't counter our thoughts about him with something positive that he's done, because with what you just said, Hannah, not only did Mel do it before, during, and after, the after was just this past summer with the trip to Destin. That was so their baby daughter, Sugar Mama, can experience this annual vacation, or that they took 2, 3 times a year, and it was an olive branch. And we know shortly after is when he went into this rage and filed for those kids. But she's tried. She's tried the right way. Mel is over it. She know it's done. There's nothing else there. And she wanted, in my opinion, just to co-parent peacefully. That's it. And we know
Mm-hmm.
that that's not what he wants, you know?
And I
And
know he had asked when he had a meeting with Mel about, with her schedule, to let him be the first person that she reaches out to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, for him to have the opportunity. Um, in my situation, I tried that as well, and it didn't work. It
Yeah.
exactly,
absolutely did not work.
exactly.
Um, you know, I was in school, and when you're in school, you have to be there. So that was something that I tried. I was like, okay, well, maybe this is going to work. He did it one time. The very next time, did not answer, didn't call, nothing. And I literally had to find sitting at the last minute. So if she has something scheduled and he throws this monkey wrench into it,
Mm-hmm.
I would not trust that either. I
Yeah.
absolutely would not
I
trust that
agree.
either.
And
No
I
way.
believe he
But
would do
Melody,
that.
Melody,
I
but
do too.
but Melody already said that she's not going to do that because
Yeah,
that's his way of trying to control her. She said, "I'm not going to tell you anything." You
right.
Yeah.
know, and if you really wanted to be there for your children, then you would have kept your penis in the household
That's
instead
right.
of going outside of the household. You would be able to wake up with your children every morning. You would know who's babysitting. He would know all this stuff if he would have kept his thing in the household during
Yep.
during the
Well,
pandemic. On top of that,
right, right. And that's another thing. He was, he told her medical information to the side piece.
Mm-hmm.
he
So
did that because he was upset.
you
He did
felt
that
like she needed to know that. But then you're leaving in the middle of a pandemic,
When we didn't know anything.
exactly.
right? And you are bringing whatever you're doing back
Mm,
into that home when they're sheltering in place.
yeah.
Hmm.
With
You very well could have put you I ain't gonna say you could have, you did put
Yes.
your
Mm-hmm.
then wife and your children in harm's way
yeah.
Yeah.
unnecessarily.
And
Simply
at
And
that
didn't feel the need to share that with Mel.
And he only
correct.
did that. He only did that to. He only told Ariana that because he, by now he know Melody's not going back to him. He thought
no,
the trip was
that
going.
wasn't
to
it, Cheryl. He
Mm,
told Coleslaw that because she saw along with us the
Mm-hmm.
video that was released
Oh,
when
I
they
didn't
were
know that.
in the
Oh,
kitchen.
I
You
didn't know
know
that.
what I mean? And with
Right.
him still hitting and quitting it, he already knew she was gonna be a hot mess. So what better way
Mm-hmm.
after this vacation, after Mel turned him down, to go
Mm-hmm.
back to her and say, you know what? And I called her your name. What better?
You're right.
Right.
Right,
Exactly. And you know what,
Right.
Martell,
Malicious. It's malicious.
that's the first thing
Mart,
that she said,
Mm.
though. That shows you her immaturity. You don't even think it through. All you know is, okay, he said that he called her me. She ran right to the internet with that. Right to the internet. You know?
He sure
but
did.
you know what, Martell is a sick and slimy individual. And control, that's what he wanted to do with Mel, but Mel wasn't having it.
Hmm.
Now, this man means no good, never meant any good. This woman paid for a vacation, allowed you and your mama to come on a vacation she paid for. And all the while in your petty pea brain little head, you knew the scheme that you had already set forth. But you think when she invited you on this trip and she denounced your advancements, what you were trying to make towards her, she shut you down. Then you get mad. Then you bring a brown bag with that wine of yours to her house unannounced. And this lady standing outside, and which I would have did the same thing, came out in the hot sun and asked you, "What's up, player? You didn't call me. What we
Right.
got to talk about? We could have talked about the children going to another grade when we was on the trip. That's a conversation that could have been had. And then when you say, well, call me when you want to, if you need to go out of town. If Mel had to call him one time, she would have had to find 21 baby, the 22nd babysitter, because he wouldn't have been nowhere around, and he
He
would have
would have
used.
sabotaged it.
Exactly, that's what he wanted to do. Use that as a form of control into, if she got something important to do, or where she can't do it because I'm not watching the children. So Mel is not playing. He is so dumb. He just don't even see how dumb he really is.
And
Yeah.
Marco, he mad
Me
because
personally, and this is just my opinion only. I really do believe that Martell is homophobic,
Oh, absolutely.
and that's the reason why he doesn't want those children around Marcus
Hmm.
and his husband.
Absolutely.
Because, like Melody said,
Allegedly.
you didn't have an issue when we were married if they went on trips and the kids were left with him. There wasn't ever an issue then, but now all of a sudden it's an issue. And now you're wanting to say because Marcus wasn't in her life until the age of, I think she said 14 or 15 or something, or
Which
maybe a
was
little bit
stupid.
older. So I just, I, I don't know.
He just lied a lot because when you really think about this thing, it doesn't seem like that's his issue with Carlos. He only has a problem when he wants to have a problem with something.
Right.
If it, in my opinion, I mean, he might be, but then he use it to his advantage when it comes to Carlos. So, but but,
Hmm.
but Melody's brother is not putting up with his crap, because in one of those scenes, when him and Marcus was in the jewelry store buying Melody that push gift, he promised that man that he would never hurt his sister again.
He
And
did.
he sat there and lied straight in this man for and Miss Van was like, "Well, God darn." Well, she didn't say that, but she was like, "I don't really understand how you think you could be on a national TV show and still do this stuff. This man thinks that he can get away with anything and everything
Hmm.
only because, in my opinion, Coleslaw was letting him get away with it. Mel, I think he was sneaking around, and Mel didn't know it. She kind of probably suspected it, but he was more cautious because at first he was more careless with it. And then after Mel left him and then the show came about, he was trying to be more sneaky about it. But that Coleslaw girl was not finna let that happen. She got exactly what she wanted when she had that baby. And
And
but she thought she wanted, I say it like this, she did this all for a reason. She's strategic, Martell's strategic, and it all backfired and blew up on both of them.
and
On the
Martell,
That's
that's how
true.
he treat all
That's
his
true. And
women.
let's give me 1 second, ladies. We are past the 3 hour mark. So we're going to start with Cheryl. I don't know why I'm tongue tied. Starting words from everybody on the panel. Starting with you, Cheryl.
And Martell is going to treat every woman in his life that way. He's narcissistic. He's a narc. This is how he treats people. He flies above you and thinks he's above you. He's going to always treat every woman that he's with, including Sheree. Right now, he love bomb her, but including her. He's going to treat her the same way. He's going to get to know everything about her, all her weaknesses, all her strengths, everything he knows about her. And later on, he's going to use it against her when she try to discard him. So this is who Martell is. He's not treating no woman better than the next. He does it to every woman he come in contact with. That's what
I
he does. You know. That's all I'm
totally
trying to say.
agree. Thank you, Cheryl. I totally agree with you. I think we all do. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sorry, Glenda, you're next. Party
Well,
word.
I just wanted to end with the young lady that said that we're not giving Martell a chance and we keep rehashing his history. I just want to say if anybody is a good parent, if you are a good parent, look at your childhood, Martell. You did not have your father. You were raised by your grandmother. You knew how it feels for you. So why would you willfully put your children through something like trying to take them away from their mother?
Totally agree. And that's not rehashing the past. That's talking about current.
Absolutely.
So that's
Right.
why people they say that all the time. Let that man go on and we're talking about what's going on current.
Currently, exactly.
And it's still being discussed on the show. Reunions and everything else. So this is current. So I totally agree, Glenda. Thank you for that. Maritha, you know I wanted you to close me out. Go ahead, Hannah Grace.
Okay, yes. I just have a problem with these organizations, uh, you know, giving people like Martell these positions as grand marshals or whatever it is, because they need to really check out these people's behaviors before they put them on a platform like that, because Martell had no business being anybody's grand marshal on anything. He needs to
I
sit down
agree.
somewhere, in my opinion. And then Letitia either, but that's another story. And I think with this grand closings with Destiny, I think that is, in my opinion, is because she probably will not be coming back to Love and Marriage Huntsville and lost that source of income. And when the show is done, Martell is going to be closing down too, because that's where he need to do, because he needs to sit down and get himself together, in my opinion. Thank you for letting me share, chit chat, and guess. It was so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I appreciate you. And then we are going to end this off with Red and the local Huntsville historian.
I would just like to say for any woman that is going through something similar, whether it be a woman or a man, always put God first.
Amen to that.
Love your children
Yes. Yes.
and know that you are protected
Yes. Thank
and
you.
He has the full armor around you.
Yes. Yes.
God
Yes.
knows all, He sees all.
Yes, he does.
You let Him fight your battles.
Now, if that wasn't a way to end this off, I don't know what is.
I know
Thank
that's
you
right.
so much, Red Ann, for those words of encouragement, empowerment, and all of the above. And yes, God first. We talk a lot about male because that is the nature of what we're doing here on YouTube. But with all of us, let's all make sure that we're applying that to our own lives as well. I
Amen.
absolutely appreciate that, Red Ann. Thank you guys so much to the livest chat on
Yes.
YouTube. Thank you guys for joining me. To the content creators that were in the building, thank you so much. Everyone that graced me with your presence on my panel. Thank you, ladies, so much for an open dialogue, even with differences of opinions. Everyone is respectful. And yeah, I just really appreciate you guys. So I
Thank
will
you
be
for having us.
Yes,
thank you guys so much.
absolutely.
Linda, you as well. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Just
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
absolutely touching. Cameron in the
Absolutely.
chat. Everybody. I don't forget anybody's story. So I really, really thank you guys. And yeah, I will be chatting with all of you soon. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good night. And if you can
You as
please hit
well.
the like button on the way out, that would be great. Oh, Tyra,
Awesome.
thank you. Have a
Good
good night,
night.
Good
everyone.
night,
Good
everyone.
night,
Good
everyone.
night. Good
Night.
night.
I'm going to say some good nights on my way out to the people in the chat. You guys was cutting up as always, but you guys know I appreciate that. Tyra Daniels, I am so very sorry that you missed the live. Where were you? Oh, you was out and about. Okay. Well, yes, catch that replay. Let me put on my little parting theme music. I wanted to put on something a little more hood, but ADR, thank you. Patricia T, good night. Thank you so much. Anonymous, Kathy Colbert, Erica Fleming, Bliss, thank you. Miss J, no texting or commenting while driving. Miss J. Momo, good night. R. Heb, good night. Renata, good night. I was looking for you on the panel, girl. D Truth, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. God bless you as well. Thank you so much. Sunny James, good night. Neva Smith, Darnett, Mary White, Candy, Janice Jacobs. You guys even behaved yourself with the opposing view. What was his name? His or her? Straight something. He ain't took her out since the concert. You ain't never lied, Momo. We haven't seen a peep. That concert was like the battle, huh? Paris or something. Alf MC, good night. Janice Jacobs, Joanne Edwards, D Good, good night. Tennessee Girl, good night. Miss Mary, Miss Wynn, Casino Rules, thank you for always joining me. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm scrolling up to see if I miss anybody else. I don't think so, but we shall see. Thank you guys again for joining me. Gwen H. I don't remember saying your name. Hope you have a good night. Care. Have a good night. All right. Lies, more lies. Have a good night. I agree, Audrey. Have a good night. I'm just saying. Miss Sugar Mama, good night. ZZ's. She looked like a dancing doll at the prom. Hilarious. Have a good night, ZZ's. Deshonda Jones. All right, guys. I scanned up. I believe I have everyone. Hopefully. A little gold 5. Have a good night. I know I didn't say that name. Thank you for joining me. Gloria Dunn, thank you for joining me. Esther Jones, thanks for joining me. Memphian, thanks for joining me. Jacqueline Stokes, thanks for joining me. Sweet Ali. Linda Gamble, good night. Simply Beautiful, thank you for joining me on the panel. Tara Lee, good night, good night, good night. Dee Dee, good night. Black Titanic, good night. Aunt Ann, good night. All right, guys, we are out of here. Kimbella, thank you again for the super chats. Anybody sent me a super chat, super sticker, cash app. I appreciate you guys. And I am signing out. D1VAD Vin. I've been seeing, I don't know how to pronounce that. Diva Devin, I believe. Good night. Brenda Wallace, good night. Straight Shooter Network. Thank you for joining us. You held your own in the chat. All right. August 7th. Good night. Signing off, guys. Chat with you guys soon.